We begin this broadcast by acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which this match will be played today and pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. We extend that respect to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples listening.
The moment of truth has arrived.
If you think you have anything other than a split second in this game right now, you're kidding yourself.
It's all to play for.
Every single bloke has stood up.
They are leaving nothing out there.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere else on earth.
Welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
From 55, Simon launches, goal! The Craze Magpies are on top of the AFL world. They win a spellbinding game of footy. Colin, what a breakfast!
This is ABC Sport.
The umpire holds the footy up.
You want your very best players having the ball in the moments that matter.
Take your moment. This is that moment.
Something's in the air. Listen to the roar.
The pressure's certainly gone up.
Feel it on your skin.
Punches the air with the right hand.
Feel the electricity.
That's why we love football.
Brilliant to watch. Stand by. The arms are outstretched as he pumps his chest out.
Fill your lungs, are you ready for it?
Wherever you are, do not move.
We're going the full journey.
'Cause here it comes, here it comes.
This is the 2024 AFL Premiership season.
From outside 50, goes bang with everything he's got.
Former bad boy looking to redeem himself with kicks like that.
Something big is coming, something big is coming.
One step nonchalant banana finish. Wow. Charlie Cameron snaps, goal.
Something big is coming.
Hey Siri, play John Denver.
AFL.
From deep in the pocket. Oh, that is amazing.
Fill your lungs, are you ready for it?
This guy wants it at home on the biggest stage.
And Gordon can finish from 35. Oh, Errol.
It's there.
Superb finish.
What a hanger.
He joins the party.
Works through the goal. Oh, what a moment.
Brilliant, wasn't it?
There's nothing this man can't do. Rioli with some magic. The check side finish.
He seizes the moment. Stolen, snapped it over his shoulder. He's kicked an absolute ripper.
Spins around and buries it.
Lightning speed, Bobby Hill. He's Bobby Thrill.
This is just football at its best.
Weaves around an opponent and gets a brilliant goal.
Gathers, snaps, he'll bring the house down.
Time to steady and pull the trigger.
Right foot drop punt is pure. We're not done yet.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season on radio, Sport Digital, and take us with you on the ABC Listen app. Just look for the AFL button.
Something big is coming, I know.
If there's a template to follow for a dramatic surge into premiership contention, Hawthorn need only look at their opponents today in GWS. Sam Mitchell's side have won 11 of their last 14 games. That's the exact same record the Giants had last year after they missed out on a grand final spot by a point. The Hawks are blitzing the AFL at the minute, but Adam Kingsley's men have their mojo back too, having won their last 4 in a row. A win today takes them back into the top 4 momentarily. The nation's capital, therefore, plays host to one of the hottest games in the run into September on an 8-degree day at Manuka Oval, where the surface is always superb and the crowd is a sellout yet again. We're delighted to have your company wherever you may be listening on ABC Sport. I'm Daniel Garb, and joining me in commentary this afternoon is Declan Byrne. Good afternoon, Deck.
G'day, Garby. Very excited to be here and pumped today. Another sellout here at Manuka. The Giants started the round in 5th. They're at 8th, which gives you an idea of just how close every game these last 4 weeks is going to be. The Hawks are holding on in 9th. They have to win to keep their season alive. So plenty to play for. Can't wait for it. The game earlier on this year, it was decided basically by a free kick. Tom Green getting Sicily late and Bruce kicking that goal. So I think we are good to go for another close one today here in Canberra.
A beautiful day in Canberra. Contrast to when Hawthorn last played here in 2019. It was the snow game, of course. So they're one of the fondest memories of that. It's been a long time since they've been back to the nation's capital to take on the Giants. So with Richmond and North Melbourne in their final 2 games, the feeling is that if Hawthorn win today, they play finals. That's at stake for their supporters and their football club. One change for both sides. Mas Krzyzewski in for the Giants, Jake Riccardi out, Jack Gunston in for Hawthorn, Finn McGuinness goes out. The subs are Joe Fonte, an unused sub last week, and Luke Bruce to sub in his 295th game in his 250 games in GWS colours for Callan Ward this afternoon. Your experts on ABC Sport are Jason Saddington, former Swan and Blue, and Joel Patfull, former Giant and 2-time Best and Fairest winner with the Brisbane Lions. Hello, gents. Welcome to Canberra.
G'day, Garby, Deck,
Hey, mate.
Joel, how are we? Look, I love the intro, Garby. It gave great energy to this game, and that's exactly what it's got. This is a huge energy game. Walking in, there was a buzz in the crowd. There's a buzz sort of in the stands. This is a real high-energy game, and one I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, two teams in cracking form, probably the best form in the competition outside the Western Bulldogs. So we're in for an absolute treat today, Joel.
We are. We talked about it off air. It's probably the game of the round with both teams in such good form. 4 out of the 5 the Giants have won. I think it's 8 out of 10 the Hawks have won coming into, like you said, 11-4 coming into this game. So two teams in great form. And like you said, the Hawks are mirroring the Giants of last year, so it'll be interesting to see how the Giants can handle that today.
Well, Adam Kingsley made that point during the week. He said, yeah, they remind me a lot of what we were like last year. They've got this energy and momentum, and sometimes it can take opposition sides a while before they realise how strong a team is, and then it might be too late. Then they've got so much energy that no matter what you do, you can't stop them. There's that feeling around Hawthorn at the minute.
No, absolutely, and they're playing with a real freedom, aren't they? They're enjoying what they do, and that's what makes a team dangerous. It's something you can't manufacture. You can sort of try and build and create that environment with your coaching, and Sam Mitchell's obviously done a terrific job with that. But it's something it's almost that extra 1 or 5%, isn't it, Joel, that if a team's just playing on instinct and enjoyment and not having to complicate the game, they're super dangerous. They're hard to stop because they just go for it, and things, without even thinking, just fall into place for them, and that's the way Hawthorn's playing.
You're exactly right. I mean, it's energy and it's effort, and that's what the Hawks are doing at the moment, and they're playing, like you said, without thinking. There's not too much game plan, not too much structure. They're obviously coming into the games feeling fresh and energised, and they're ready to play footy, and they're just enjoying their footy, which is exactly what the Giants were doing at this stage last year. So they're playing free, and it's great to see. It's entertaining footy to watch as well.
And Nick Watson's boots sums up how much fun they're having. He's got one pink boot and one blue boot on today. I've never seen that before. I mean, they're brash. They don't care what anyone says about them. You know, Ginnivan and Watson up forward, taking selfies after goals. That's what they're like at the minute, but their fans are going along for the ride with them. That being said, the Giants, 4 wins in a row. They win today, they go up to 4th, although they can slip back to 6th if both Brisbane and Fremantle win. But it feels as if they're on that right path again. Still without, though, Josh Kelly and Stephen Cornelio. So again, big pressure on the likes of Finn Callaghan and James Peatling perhaps in the midfield.
Yeah, some of those mids. It's pretty young midfield, isn't it? And Tom Green's carrying a lot of that weight. Callaghan's had a great couple of weeks, but Peatling and O'Halloran are players that have to step in with the absence of Cornelio and Kelly, who are still to come back into the team. But I think the big difference going into today's game than the last time they met is where the midfields are at. Giants midfield was struggling through that little period and they were off the pace, but they've seemed to have recaptured their form. So it's a different matchup today. Hawks midfield absolutely smashed them last time out. Giants midfield are back in form, so we'll see what happens in there today.
Toby Green has won the toss. He's back in form. 14 goals in his last 5 games after a slowish start by his standards to the start of the season. They will kick to the left of your radio dial or ABC Listen app to the Jack Fingleton scoreboard end, where the Tom Green fan club is as well. Of course, just forward of the wing here at Canberra, where the crowd has piled in superbly. It is just an awesome sight here in the nation's capital. Joel, you would have played a few games here as a Giant, no doubt. The surface is awesome. There's always a great buzz.
It's always a great game to play. It's the smaller regional ground, but they pack it in. The Canberra community really gets around the Giants and they fill it out, which is great to see. And like I said, the deck is absolutely amazing. Great day for footy. I know it's what did you say, 8 degrees, but the sun's out and it's perfect conditions for footy.
And barely any wind. The trees in the background are not moving at all. So it's set up for a cracker. Repeating your subs, Joe Fonsi for the Giants and Luke Bruce in game 295 for Hawthorn. We'll look to see where Toby Bedford goes. A few options for him in terms of a tag. He's lining up in the middle of the ground at the moment. So Connor Nash is next to him. I don't think he'll be tagging him. Let's see where he goes. Let's see how this game starts. It should be a cracker. With the first bounce, here's Declan Byrne.
Giants at their second home in Canberra. For a while they didn't win here, but they've had a couple this year. Another sold-out crowd. And finals footy on the line for both these teams. Briggs and Meek, both the ruckman. They do battle. Early tap, Meek to Nash. He gets hands off today. He's been in incredible form. Umpire's found a free kick going the way of the Giants. It'll go to Peatling. Fresh off 28 disposals last week, looks to his left. Kicks the ball to Iden, still in the centre square. Defensive side for the Giants. Short kick on, Ash marks. They go back through the middle. Whitfield just to the left of the centre circle. His delivery is long inside 50. Running at the footy, so easy for Hogan. He's 3 behind in the Coleman. If he has a day out today with Curnow going goalless last night, he might just sit atop at the end of this round.
Absolutely staggering the space that Jesse Hogan got. I mean, he's the most informed forward in the competition. He's kicked 4 goals the last 4 every game the last 4 weeks, but he just had a ton of space to run and jump at that footy. You think a close check-in would be the way he'd be going on Jesse Hogan.
4 games, Jason. Try 28 games in a row. He's got a goal. It's the longest streak in the AFL for Jesse Hogan. To get the Giants on the board within a minute, no issue. And listen to the local crowd getting around the Giants. First goal, 60 seconds gone. They lead 6-0.
I was actually watching that matchup behind play because it was Scrimshaw that went to Hogan at the centre bounce, and I had a note in here to see who the matchup would be because it could have been Frost, it could have been a number of players, but they've gone with Scrimshaw. But like you said, Sato, just no body contact behind the footy here and lets him lead into free space, and you can't be doing that. Someone like Hogan, he's such good form, 4 goals in the last 3 weeks in every game, and he's pivotal this week, obviously with Riccardi out as well. There's a bit on his shoulders to kick some goals this game.
Yeah, absolutely true. I mean, if they could contain Hogan, you then require probably Toby Green to step up as he normally does, but without Riccardi, who's a noted goal kicker, Cadman's the other player that probably needs to find some form today and kick some goals. But Jesse Hogan, you keep him quiet and you go a long way to winning the game.
Giants 1 straight 6. Hawks yet to score. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Pete Ling wrestling away with Will Day. And Tom Green, the local boy, locks up the footy with Connor Nash. So now Bedford standing alongside Will Day. So that is the tag for Bedford this afternoon. Briggs' kick is smothered nicely by Ginnivan. Green then spoils his handball, which was intended for Nash. We're going to have another ball up in the middle of the ground.
There's just some size in Hawthorn's midfield, isn't there? Nash and Day, they've got some height over Peatling and Bedford.
Nash wins it down to Amon. He's wrapped up, though. It's tough in the clinches early. And that was Toby Green, the captain, coming off the line and tackling Amon. Quick ball up from the umpire. Briggs slaps it forward to centre half forward. Seized upon by Darcy Jones. Quick kick towards the goal square. Marked by Cadman almost. Frost was with him. Cadman had a good look at that. Got 2 hands to it. But Frost spoiled just at the last moment through fray behind. The Giants are 1-1-7. Hawthorn yet to score. 3 minutes gone in the first term.
Even on that one, Joel, Impey just really let Darcy Jones run up to that footy. Sagged right off. Don't know if you want to be playing that loose on the Giants forwards.
Everyone's set up to the left, so that's where Scrimshaw goes. Big leap, no mark from the Hawks. Handball to Meek. His handball misses the target. Giants have possession. Ash, edge of the centre square. They go inside 50. 2 one-on-ones. Over the back was Hogan. Does he have 2? He doesn't. Probably should have done better from just 20 metres out. Pulled it near side for the first minus score. Second minus score. It's 1-2-8. Hawks yet to score.
Yeah, you're right, Sato. They're trying to get that drop off. So it was Sicily then that dropped off the contest, but they're giving the Giants the extra around the stoppage, and he's getting caught out in between. He's not influencing the contest, and he's not getting up at the stoppage at the moment.
A rare behind for Jesse Hogan, albeit not from a set shot. That's a long kick out of the goal square from James Sicily. The Giants pick it up, throw through Ash. And now Tom Green on his left kicks it deep inside 50. Hogan marks again. Out in front of Frost. The hottest forward in the game at the minute has started beautifully, Jesse Hogan. He's got 1 and he'll kick for his second from 40 out directly in front.
Almost carbon copy. He was allowed that 5 metres freedom in front of Frost this time to just run and launch at the footy. And we know he's a great contested mark, so if you're giving him the space to be able to leap up and get his dukes at it, you can't spoil it.
This for his 55th goal of the season, to put him just 1 behind Charlie Curnow in that Coleman medal race. Hogan with that stuttering run-up that is working so well for him. Does that on this occasion. 2 behinds in a row for Hogan, but that's a rare set shot miss. You don't see that very often from him. The Giants starting beautifully, 1-3-9. Hawks yet to score. 5 minutes gone in the first.
Scrimshaw on the left down that eastern wing. Another tap down, waiting at the front was Ginnivan. He tried his little trademark trick to get the high tackle. Instead, it's paid against him holding the ball. So free kick for the Giants. They're 75 metres out, and again they'll go long. Where's Hogan? He's over the back. Bit of a shove. No mark. Right forward pocket. Ball spills around. Nash gets the ball, throws it on his boot. It just clears McMullen. Watson's there, 60 metres out, but he spills it as well. So Green picks it up for the Giants. Kick comes in, intercept mark from Scrimshaw, and they repel a goal, although just for a second. The kick was coming across the goal. It was a risky one to CJ, and Ward, in his 250th in Giants colours, punched it out. Left forward pocket will have a ball in.
It was the fresh, speedy young legs of Callan Ward, but he closed it down a treat. I mean, that's the smarts of an older player.
Boundary thrown inside the forward pocket for the Giants. Cadman tries the soccer effort in mid-air, didn't quite connect. Hawks can rebound from the left-back pocket. Sicily to Jath, looping handball over the top for Impey, gets away from Harvey Thomas and gets the 1-2 with Jash on the wing. Good chase from Brent Daniels, affected the kick, so the Giants win it back through Ash. And now Thomas, handball to half forward for McMullen, has Perryman in support. He'll go inside 50. Cadman's underneath it. Meek drops back into the hole but couldn't mark. Hogan roved. Green with a high ball inside a dangerous spot. Top of the goal square. Halloran couldn't mark. It's a grubbery kick to clear defensive 50, and Callaghan gathers.
He's plenty of time, 75 metres out. Looks to his left. Why wouldn't you choose Whitfield? He lowers the eyes, and the captain marks on the edge of the arc.
Yeah, it was a good spot up there by Lockie Whitfield. The Hawks have dropped their numbers back. They're looking a bit undersized and a bit vulnerable with that long kick to the goal square, so they've dropped numbers back. Smart by Lockie Whitfield to lower the eyes and hit Toby Green on the lead up.
So he'll have to kick 55 metres to make the journey. Toby Green, 33 goals for the season. It'll probably be his second best year ever, despite a quiet start. He's got hot recently. Gets to within 53. It looks good. It just fades late. So another minor score. It is 1-4-10. Hawks still on the donut. We've played 7.5 minutes here at Manuka.
And they haven't gone inside 50 yet. Giants inside 50s 8. Hawthorn yet to find one, but that's a beautiful kick out of the defensive area from Amon to spot up Impey, and now they're away. Now they're inside 50. Impey finds Dylan Moore, just sits up for him. Plenty of options, maybe too many. With composure though, he goes backwards to Jack Gunston, and Gunston will kick from 30 out directly in front. How quick was that out of the kick in for Hawthorn?
It was just poor setup from the Giants from the kick in. I mean, it's from a set shot that Toby Green had, but the space over the back that Hawthorn got from that kick in just allowed them to be able to run the ball up the wing and hit inside 50 pretty much unchallenged.
Jack Gunston, the Hawthorn champion, back in their famous colours and kicking their first goal of the afternoon. He doesn't miss those. Hawthorn 1 straight 6. The Giants are 1-4-10, and the Hawks so efficient, their one inside 50 results in a major.
Well, they needed something, didn't they? Because they were struggling to get the ball past centre. Like you said, they dropped numbers back to kind of stop those Giants forward, and it came from the set play out in front of Impey, and once you get out in front of him, he's kind of off to the races. The Giants' defensive system broke down with Buckley coming forward and allowed the Hawks out the back. Great bit of play.
It was the first time they really got over halfway, wasn't it? The Giants had set up so well, for when the Hawks are trying to exit their defensive 50 and just kept repelling, putting the ball back in. But that one time set play, great ball movement, Giants asleep in defence.
It can happen a few times as well when you're not setting your defence and you're continually going inside 50. That little break in concentration, you can get out the back.
So the second string ruckmen are in the middle. Cadman wins it out. His kick only goes 5 or 10 metres. Impey running off the back, kicks it towards their 50, edge of their attacking arc. Hands come to Ginnivan, 55 out. He goes back instead, kicking that inside 50. D'Ambrosio spots up Moore. Marks 40 metres out directly in front.
It's a great little kick back into the corridor. Wasn't a lot of space that Moore had, but D'Ambrosio, lovely little pinpoint kick, lower the eyes, and just find that free player.
Dylan Moore, the vice-captain. Kicked 28 goals this year. It's his birthday today. Nothing better than a birthday goal. And they have 2 inside 50s for 2 majors. They lead now. It's 2 straight 12 to 1-4-10. Sunday Arvo footy here on ABC Sport. Your experts, Jason Saddington and Joel Patfull.
Well, both defences are under pressure a bit, Sato. Their ball's moving quite freely, and it looks like there's plenty of space inside 50 when the teams are delivering it inside. So Giants 8 inside 50s for 5 scoring shots. Hawks 2 for 2 goals. Both very efficient moving inside 50, and it's the movement from the forwards that are causing trouble for those defences.
Well, it's the start we wanted, wasn't it? It's the game we wanted. We thought it'd be electric and two teams in form. They've both exactly started that way. It's just high energy. Plenty of shots on goal.
Dylan Moore having a wonderful campaign. 5th in the comp for goal assists. He was the goal kicker for the Hawks there. Now 2 straight 12. Giants 1-4-10. 10.5 gone in the first term. Maybe Ochol just hacks it out of the air towards half forward. Ginnivan leads the chase in front of Himmelberg. Tries to handball back to Ward. Himmelberg wraps him up, but Ward does well to get the hands free to Ginnivan, and now Warple looks for Ginnivan again. But Darcy Jones is there doing some defensive work. Back to Ash. They give it back to the Giants. They're under pressure here inside defensive 50. Jones swoops on it once more, and with pace releases the pressure up to the wing. Bouncing ball picked up by Hardwick, and here's Scrimshaw for the Hawks.
Scrimshaw 2 kicks from goal. Has more diving mark. Did he take it? Oh, must have been a centimetre inside the line. That left forward flank swings around on his right, then lowers the eyes, lowers the kick to a leading Chol, who marks in the left forward pocket. Brilliant use from Moore.
Just a sharp ball movement, isn't it? Hawks keeping the ball alive, getting numbers around the footy. Tap-ons, just really keeping the game moving, keeping it flowing, which is hard then for the Giants' defence to try and set up and try and cover when the ball's just constantly in play.
It's only a 25-metre kick for Chol, but it is on a pretty tight angle. He's their leading goal kicker in 2024 for 3 in a row for the Hawks. On his left foot, guides it home. And they've got hot. 3 straight 18, 1-4-10. That's 12 minutes gone at Manuka, and Hawks are up and running.
Well, they wouldn't be happy with that, the Giants' defence. It's 3 marks inside 50, 3 goals. And you can see it's from the defensive zone breakdown. From when you go from zoning, you're 5 metres off your opponent, to closing that space and playing one-on-one, and they haven't found that balance yet. And you've got to make some body contact and close that space down rather than just giving your opponent the lead up. You see here, sorry, you can't see when you're listening at home, but Sam Taylor playing 5 metres in front, but allows Chol to lead past him. No body contact there, and gives him the leading lane without closing that space.
It's rare to see that many marks so quickly taken on that Giants defence, isn't it? I mean, Buckley, Taylor and Ida normally pretty hard to get some marking play against, that's for sure.
What a pickup Marbia Chol's been for the Hawks. 30 goals for the season. He's 6th in the comp for tackles inside 50. Yep. How impressive is that for a big man? Hawks 3 straight 18, Giants 1-4-10, and Hawthorn go inside 50 again. Underneath it is Deer, slapped away from him by Buckley. Watson quick on the scene. Perryman with the job on him, sees the ball over the boundary line, right forward pocket for the Hawks. In front of the fans there who are enjoying the Canberra sunshine. It might be chilly, but it is a beautiful day in the capital. Boundary throw in the pocket. Meek tries to slap it towards the attacking goal square. Strong tackle by Perryman on Nick Watson, who is easily identified by 1 pink boot and 1 blue boot. Ball up inside 50 for the Hawks.
Cadman against the much fancied Meek. He does get the tap, but the free kick has been found, and I think it's against Cadman. So Meek was dominant in the ruck anyway. Cadman not only didn't get the tap, but he gave away the free kick. Meek's going to line up on a slide angle from 40 metres.
It's always the risk, isn't it? Your second ruck who doesn't do a lot of rucking. Jake Riccardi's been that player for the Giants that has been their second ruck and has performed admirably, but with him out now, Cadman's the one with the job.
Second year at the Hawks. He's got the main spot here in the ruck position, but he can't get the goal. It is just off to the left. A miss from Meek is the first miss for the Hawks. 3-1-18. They lead 1-4-10.
Not sure what Aaron Cadman did wrong there. Looking at the replay of that decision. Bizarre call, but the Giants aren't penalised any more than a point. 3-1-19 the Hawks, 1-4-10 GWS. Here's Lockie Whitfield, who's been quiet so far. Brings the ball back in to right half back. Big leap by Hogan. Bedford's at the source of it. And we'll have a ball up. Giants attacking to the left of your radio dial, the ABC Listen app. They started better of the two sides. 8 inside 50s before the Hawks had one, but the Hawks have kicked the last 3 goals. And they'll go inside 50 again through Newcomb. Out in front of the forwards to lead at it. Iden, though, wins the contest, punches it away to Ward. And now Himmelberg gets rid of a tackler. Iden and now Taylor has Peatling in support, but Amon is riding him. He caught him high. The umpire hasn't seen that. The arm definitely came across Peatling's shoulder from Amon, but the umpire was on the other side. So it'll be a ball up just outside 50 for Hawthorn at right half forward.
James Peatling's one of those players very good at dipping the shoulder
right
way.
Tap down came to Green, then to Ward. He's turned it over, though, and a high tackle there for Shaw against Perryman. And the Hawks will get another shot for goal. Their second free kick inside 50 going to the Wizard Watson.
Well, there's some very good players that getting the high free kick out there today, Sato. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, it looks like Watson sort of slips, doesn't he, and goes, he goes low with himself picking up the footy, and Perryman, I guess you can't, it's almost like you can't tackle, you got to wait for him to pick it and tackle. Don't try and tackle them as they're sort of gathering the footy at the same time.
Starts his run up outside the field of play from 45 metres. It's swinging back, maybe to register a point. No, doesn't even get that. Out in the full, right forward pocket. Whitfield with the footy.
16 and a half gone in the first. Hawthorn by 9 points. Here's O'Halloran, affected as he kicked it, and it's out of bounds on the full. So Hawthorn with repeat entries inside 50 in this first quarter at the moment. It'll be Scrimshaw to bring it back in.
The Giants just can't get any free footy, can they, Giles? Every time they're getting it, they're just having to launch it out.
Scrimshaw on his left. High ball into attack. Choles underneath it. Good mark by Buckley. Strong grab. He'll be watching his girlfriend Celeste Mucci in the hurdles in Paris on Wednesday. She's in the heats, and hopefully the final on Saturday. That was a nice grab from him as they work it to Connor Ryden at left half back, the Giants.
Down to the wing, and Gruszewski's into the game. Gets a mark in between the interchange bench. Has an option inside. Why not use it? It's Whitfield. He chips it to Peatling, just inside the centre square, and they'll go the switch. Both teams have been using this eastern wing. Buckley has a bounce, has two. Delivers long to a one-on-one. Darcy Jones against Scrimshaw. I don't think that was the one-on-one they were after. Ball goes out of bounds. We'll have a throw in between wing and half forward for the Giants.
The first time in a while the Giants have got some ball in the front half, and it was because they had the ability to just hit a kick coming out of defensive 50, which allowed them to then take some time and come back through the corridor.
18 minutes gone in the first term. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport from Manuka Oval in Canberra. Newcomb's clearing kick only as far as Whitfield, who puts the Giants inside 50. Green and Hardwick there. That's going to be a really good matchup. Two hard-nosed competitors. Hardwick with Toby Green every step of the way there. Sees it over the boundary line, right half forward, just around the 50-metre arc for GWS.
Whitfield up to 7 touches. Third most possessions in the whole comp. Out of the top 20, he's the best user. They love it in his hands. Meek leads Cadman to the ball. Grabs it out of the ruck. Hands it off to Amon, but his kick outside 50 goes straight to a Giant who wastes no time. And Jones marks 45 metres out. It's come in patches so far. It couldn't get past halfway for the Hawks. Then it was stuck in the Giants' defensive half for about 6 or 7 minutes. Well, they've got a shot now to stem the tide. Darcy Jones, let's see what he can do.
Yeah, great use there by Lockie Whitfield. 7 touches now for the quarter. I think the Hawks coaching box would be looking at that, whether they put someone to him. He's so damaging when he gets the ball, and he has been able to be kept quiet if they do put someone to him.
Round 17 Rising Star nominee Darcy Jones in his trademark headgear from 48. Distance isn't an issue, but he's pulled it across. Hawks lead 3-1-19 to 1-5-10. Nearly 20 minutes gone in the first quarter here on ABC Sport.
The Giants inaccurate early. Darcy Jones, who made his debut here in round 8 against Brisbane. It's electrifying on that afternoon. Adding a lot to this Giant side as the Hawks switch it to Sicily, their skipper, at right half back. Sends him up to the wing. Set up nicely for Ginnivan, who didn't attack the football, waited for it to bounce. And then it's slapped away from him and over the boundary line in front of Adam Kingsley, who loves that. A round of applause for his team. Signed a new 3-year deal a week ago in a masterstroke to give him the reins at GWS. Boundary throw in right in front of the Giants coach. Briggs palms it down, but only as far as Warple. Back to Newcomb. The 1-2 with Amon on the wing. Goes into the middle of the ground, Newcomb to Ginnivan, who got a free roll, it feels like, for the Hawks. That's a dangerous kick. Well marked by McDonald as Ash was closing in on him. Gives it to Weddle. His left foot kick inside 50. Watson almost marked. Gunston gathered with some time. Just snaps it over his shoulder. Taylor's there. It bounces in front of him. Chol comes out to meet it now. Ward gathers it. And the kick is going to be out of bounds and probably insufficient intent, you would think, in a free kick to Hawthorn. Yes. Couldn't really argue too much with that one. The Hawks will have the free kick just outside 50 at right half forward.
Warple has it. He hasn't missed a game in 2 years, James Warple. And he'll bring it back in from just beyond the arc. They lead by 8 points, the Hawks here. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. It is a packed forward line, though. He's looking for a pocket of space. He might back himself here. Surely it's a hot spot kick. Well, he sent it most of the way to goal. And it's just near side. Didn't like any options, so went it himself. Stretches that lead to 9. 21 minutes into the first.
Hawthorn 3-2-20. Giants 1-5-11. Ash under pressure. Got the handball free to Iden. Now Whitfield. The Hawks doing their best to lock the Giants inside their own defensive 50. Ash sends it up to the wing. It's a scrappy kick, though. It evades O'Halloran. Amon gathers. Nash just shrugs off a couple of would-be tacklers. Goes back to Frost. Hawks go into attack again. Chol underneath it. Buckley couldn't mark. Iden's under pressure. Near his own defensive goal square. Goes back to Iden. And then Watson puts a tackle on Iden. Boundary throw in. Left half forward for Hawthorn, who are just making the Giants work. Jason Saddington and Joel Patfull as they try and exit defensive 50.
Seems to be the state of the game. Whichever team's got it in their front half, it's hard to get out. So while you've got it in there, you've got to make the most of your chances. Hawthorn been most efficient so far out of the two teams.
Briggs to tap down, straight to Newcomb. He turns it over. Ash kicks it outside 50. Bit of a hit and hope. D'Ambrosio was first there for the Hawks. Hands to Impey. Back to D'Ambrosio in the centre circle. Fans out to the left. Has CJ. Giath mark. 60 from goal for the Hawks. Looks inside 50. Once again, there's 30 players in there. Can he find a lead or can they find a big hang? Briggs spoils on Meek. Taylor was waiting at the front. He was tackled straight away. So a ball up in the left forward pocket. 22 minutes gone. Hawks lead by 9.
Hawthorn just been a bit more efficient, I suppose, at getting the ball off the line, changing the angle a little bit to get some better entries than the Giants when they go forward.
Set up for a cracker as we thought it would be, as Briggs is brought to the ground by Newcomb.
It's a defensive 50 exit as well. The Giants haven't been able to hit that target coming out of their back 50.
All up inside 50 for the Hawks again. Watson gathers it just inside the boundary line. He's caught high by O'Halloran, and he's won another high free kick, Nick Watson. He saw O'Halloran coming. He doesn't have to duck much, but you've just got to be smarter, don't you, when tackling him? Because you know what he's going to do every time.
You'd think so, and they talk about it so much during the week that you'd expect him to go for it. It's just a little raise of the arm. It's not much, but it's easy to do, and you should expect that as a player going into that tackle.
So Watson will try snap it from about 25 out, hemmed up on the boundary line. He runs around now, and misses near side. This is the issue with this little gem of a forward that the Hawks picked up with pick 5 in last year's draft. He's not as accurate as they would like him to be. So Hawthorn 3-3-21, GWS 1-5-11, 23.5 gone in the first term. Sunday afternoon footy from Canberra on ABC Sport.
Lucky Ash, touch number 9. Goes to the one-on-one of Buckley and D'Ambrosio. Hits the deck. Newcomb's first there. He nearly dived on it. Eventually we'll have a ball up as Ward and a couple of others rise from the ground. We're still 55 metres out from the Hawks' goal. They lead by 10. Briggs front position, good tap down, but it hit the turf. Nash, well tackled by Peatling, who grabbed an arm. They gave him a long time. It was too long. Good defensive pressure from Peatling. As I said, Peatling last week, not only the 28 touches, he had 11 tackles. It's probably his best game in Giants colours. He has Himmelberg inside 50, and they'll go the switch again. Ash, touch number 10, thought about handballing it back. Now he's played on. Chol puts pressure on him. Goes sideways to Buckley, who marks at half-back. Long down the line. Sicily looking for it. Hogan came late and affected the contest. Amon's there. He's tackled over the boundary line just forward of the wing for the Giants. They trail by 10.
Just the one disposal for Finn Callaghan so far. We spoke about him. 36 touches last week. Without Canelio and Kelly, the likes of Callaghan need to help out Tom Green in the engine room. Hawks probably winning that battle at the moment. Well done, Darcy Jones. Just win it from that clearance and kick it forward. It dribbles inside 50 for the Giants, but Krasevsky was beaten and Amon gathers. Sends it up to the wing. Briggs is underneath it. Well done by Watson. Just cut in front of the two ruckmen who were wrestling, Meek and Briggs. He's half their size. He took the mark right in front of the two rucks. Goes back to Amon. Now short up to Ginnivan. Amazing watching Ginnivan and Watson work. They just buzz about all over the ground. Almost got those free rolls for the Hawks. Now Hardwick switches it to Sicily. Giants set up well defensively. Sicily bites one off in the middle of the ground, but the mark was dropped by Amon and the Giants win it back. Free kick though against Brent Daniels, I think. That was a chance for the Giants to exploit the Hawks the other way. Amon wins the free kick, handballs to Weddle.
Weddle advances, he has D'Ambrosio forward, uses that option, hands off to Impey. They're 55 out, running past Weddle, ignored. Impey gets it, he gives it to Weddle, who is still running from inside 50, from the tightest of angles. And Weddle looks at the crowd and says, yes, thank you very much. An electric finish. And after the Giants got the hot start, Hawks have the next 4 goals. It is 4-3-27 to 1-5-11. Sunday afternoon at Manuka on ABC Sport. Jason Saddington and Joel Patfull. What a finish. Did you see it? Saddo, you blocked a little bit.
Didn't see it from that.
Here you go. I'm watching on the big screen.
It's a great finish, but we saw Warple have a shot from that pocket as well before. I think it's not as deep as what you'd think from the 50-metre arc there. It does give you a good look at it. So the Hawks are confident having shots from that end, but it was the build-up for me, the clean hands, the 2-on-1 with Impey, just drew the player and just gave it at the right time to Weddle running inside 50, and what a beautiful finish. But the Hawks' pressure coming forward, and they've been able to turn it over, and the Giants just can't hit that kick, either getting it out of their back 50 or when they move forward, they haven't been able to hit a target. So Hawks' pressure, top notch.
Hawks lead by 16. 27 minutes gone in the first term. Sam Mitchell's side bringing their momentum to Manuka Oval. Here's Lloyd Meek. This works it forward a few metres. It's gathered by Warple. Now D'Ambrosio, handball over the top. Day got his arms free and got it back to Warple. Inside 50, Hawthorn go again. It bounces over the head of Sam Taylor, does the football. Deere now looking for McDonald. He was under pressure as he kicked, and as a result, it goes out of bounds on the full in the right forward pocket for Hawthorn. Sam Taylor to bring it back in for the Giants, getting close to quarter time. Hawthorn are 4-3-27. They kicked the last 4 goals of this first term. The Giants are 1-5-11.
Once again, they use the eastern wing. Taylor hits Ash, who goes long, hoping for a mark from a teammate, and gets it. Thomas, the smallest man in the contest, took it, and he opens up the whole corridor with that kick to Green in the centre square. Was going to kick. Handball instead to Jones. Lowers the eyes. Daniels takes the mark, 46 metres out. Well, that was pretty easy for the Giants as they came straight through the guts.
Well, it took a contested mark. Was it Harvey Thomas, I think, which is...
It's McMullen.
McMullen, yeah. It took a really good contested mark from able to get some free ball and some ball movement through the middle of the ground.
Brent Daniels, his highest disposal average ever in his career. He's been busy through the middle, can't kick the goal. And it is 1-6-12. They trail the Hawks 4-3-27.
They just missed a lot of set shots, haven't they, the Giants? All gettable, not easy, but they've missed them. That's been the difference. Hawthorn being a bit more efficient in front of goal.
29 minutes gone in the first term as Hardwick brings it back in for the Hawthorn up to the wing. Taylor with the big leap. Couldn't quite bring it down. And then Peatling left the football behind. Meek gathered it. High ball towards half forward. Himmelberg back with courage. Did well to affect the contest. The Giants could pick it up. Peatling and Whitfield look to share it. They turn it over though. Jath soccers it forward. It's gathered by Warple in the middle of Manuka Oval. Now Nash through the centre circles. Sends it out to right, half forward. Time ticking down. Giants gather it. Here's Callaghan. Sends it up to the wing looking for Thomas. Well done though by big Connor Nash. He's a big boy for a midfielder, isn't he? Just fists it over the boundary line in between the interchange gates, and it might be hard now for either side to kick a major before quarter time. It's Hawthorn who lead by 15 points.
Sharon will be spun back in nearly 30 minutes in. Hawks lead by 15. Briggs and Meek do battle again. Tap straight down, free kick comes, and it's gone the way of the Giants. Tom Green, can they get a kick on goal? There's still at least two. Green sends it long, they can't. Siren goes, and the Hawks, after a slow start, came back. They kicked 4 in a row, and at quarter time they lead 4-3-27 to 1-6-12. Jason Saddington, Joel Patfull, what did you make of that first quarter?
Well, it's hats off to Hawthorn. After the first probably 7-minute onslaught from the Giants, where Jesse Hogan had 3 shots on goal and they were marking the ball freely inside 50, and you know, just keeping the ball in their front half. From that point on, it was all Hawks. They just really upped their game around the footy. Their pressure was good. Every time they got it forward, they were very efficient. You know, certainly through that middle part of the quarter, and they really contained the ball in their front half. The Giants couldn't find a way out of their defensive 50. Every time it came out, the Hawks were set up so well. Their pressure was good. They were sending it back in, and they just had the momentum of the play from there. They stopped the Giants game, and it was all Hawthorn really for that quarter. Very efficient, very good. Their smalls, Watson's looking sharp, Moore's looking sharp. A very good performance from the Hawks in that first quarter after the Giants got the jump on them.
Yeah, you're right. And then you saw when the Giants were able to change direction, they could get the ball going through the corridor and hit a target inside 50, but they haven't been able to do that often enough with the Hawks' pressure. That long kick out of defence isn't working for the Giants. But the Hawks midfield as well, I think they're on top. They're much more efficient going inside 50. Like you said, Garby, Finn, Callahan hasn't really been seen. Peeling's had a little bit of the footy, but too much on Tom Green at this stage.
So Jesse Hogan kicked the first goal of the game. After that, majors to Gunston, Moore, Chol and Weddle for the Hawks, who are 4-3-27. The Giants 1-6-12, a 15-point lead to Sam Mitchell's side at quarter time here at Monaco Oval. It's Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Roy and HG. This medal-winning duo are no strangers to the City of Lights. But, mes amis, it's not just the Olympic Games. It's the culture, the fashion, the politics, the art, the opera, plus BMX bikes and weightlifting. That's people, medals and cheese daily during the Olympics across the nation, teetering on the brink of joyful chaos on ABC Radio and on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Whitfield just to the left of the centre circle. His delivery is long inside 50. Running at the footy, so easy for Hogan to get the Giants on the board within a minute. No issue. And listen to the local crowd getting around the Giants.
Impey finds Dylan Moore, just sits up for him. Plenty of options, maybe too many. With composure, though, goes backwards to Jack Gunston.
Dylan Moore, the vice-captain, kicked 28 goals this year. It's his birthday today. Nothing better than a birthday goal. And they have 2 inside 50s for 2 majors. It's only a 25-metre kick for Chol, but it is on a pretty tight angle. On his left foot, guides it home. And they've got hot. 3 straight 18, 1-4-10. Running past, Weddle ignored. Impey gets it. He gives it to Weddle, who is still running from inside 50, from the tightest of angles. And Weddle looks at the crowd and says, yes, thank you very much. An electric finish. And after the Giants got the hot start, Hawks have the next 4 goals.
Your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
Hawthorn 4-3-27, the Giants 1-6-12 here at Monaco Oval on a beautiful Sunday afternoon. Not a breath of wind, a sold-out crowd. Daniel Garby with you alongside Declan Byrne. And Jason Saddington and Joel Patfull are our experts. Just that forward pressure, boys, of the Hawks in that first term. It was manic, and it just felt as if the Giants, who we know love that orange tsunami running out of half-back, were rushed every time they were in possession.
Yeah, there was no tsunami happening that quarter, was there, Joel? Because of that pressure and, you know, and the way they were set up behind the footy too, the Hawks, the Giants, every time they came out, they just really struggled. And to go back in, and I mean, that shows in the stats for the Giants. Their possession winners are Whitfield and Ash and Iden. You know, all their backs are getting the footy, whereas for the Hawks, it's their mids that are winning a lot of the ball. Warple, you know, Amon. Newcombe, they're getting the footy. So it's a tale of two different teams at the moment in terms of where the game's been played, Joel.
Well, they're smashing him in clearance as well. 13-5 clearance, the Hawks. So they're getting the ball going forward from there, and then that's where they start that team defence. And from there, they're small forwards that look so dangerous in offence, but they're also the ones that are creating that defence as well. You've got who we got up there? Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. But small forwards up there for the Hawks. Watson, and Dylan Moore was the one I was thinking of, all creating that forward pressure inside 50.
Great to have you listening wherever you are around the nation. To our WA listeners, you'll be off to Essendon and Fremantle from the MCG from halftime in this game. But great to have you with us until then. It was set up for a cracker. It has delivered on the balance of play in this first term. Hawthorn with 3 wins in a row, victorious in 11 of their last 14, the Giants having won their last 4. It feels like a bit of a final. If the Hawks can win this one with North and Richmond in their last 2 games, September action for them seems just about a formality. Declan Byrne, some numbers to quarter time?
Yeah, so as Sado mentioned, Whitfield and Ash, the half-backs, they are cleaning up. So 12 touches for both of them. They lead all comers. And then it's down at Iden at 6 for the Hawks. Amon with 9, Warple with 8, and Ginnivan with 6 touches. It seems like he hasn't had someone closely checking him for one of the most dangerous forwards in the game at the moment.
Yeah, he's got the ability to roam, hasn't he? He's not just parked inside that 50. He's getting up around the middle, across half-back. It's like a free licence to just be creative, go where you need to, and help set up the play. Still get hard back, get hard forward, but he's just roaming around at the moment.
Well, he's probably the one who's got the Lockie Whitfield matchup. So Whitfield's free inside 50, but Ginnivan's doing damage up around the ball and creating opportunities. So it's that trade-off as who's more dangerous and who's using the ball better. At this stage, it looks like Ginnivan's probably being more effective.
The tsunami warning rings around Manuka Oval. Maybe that'll get the Giants going out of half-back. 15 points the margin, but GWS have been inaccurate. They are 1-6-12. Hawthorn 4-3-27. James Pitling with 5 tackles. He could use a bit of help around the ball, though. The likes of Tom Green and Finn Callaghan a bit quiet in the absence of Josh Kelly and Stephen Cornelio. Ball is bounced to start the second term. Briggs and Meek is an absorbing battle. It's straight down to Newcombe, though. He gets free of Pitling and kicks inside 50. Iden out to meet it in front of Gunston, just paddles it in front of himself, and we'll see it over the boundary line. Left half back for GWS in front of the Jack Fingleton scoreboard, which was transported from the MCG to this ground many years ago and near the Tom Green Fan Club tent in honour of the local GWS star who hails from this part of the world, of course.
Just outside 50 for the Hawks. Good tap from Meek, got it inside 50. Giants are waiting. Handball comes out. O'Halloran still yet to get a touch. Knocks it down. Daniels a little soccer forward. Came to Amon, then to Ginnivan, inside 50. Rush kick to the right forward pocket. No mark. Giants get hands out. And again, missed target. Messy play here, inside 50. Nash centres it, standing all on his own. He let out McDonald. Just wasn't being watched. And he'll have a shot from directly in front, 30 metres out.
Yeah, I think Taylor and Himmelberg got themselves in a bit of a tangle with their opponents, and it just allowed Connor McDonald to just find that space in front. They had a bit of a look at each other too there, Himmelberg and Taylor. It's like, what are you doing, mates? I don't know. They're probably arguing that against each other, Joel. That was your fault. It's my fault.
He had a career game last week, McDonald. He had 28 and 3 goals. Well, he's opened his account here in Canberra. And that is 5 on the trot. Alarm bells must be going off for the Giants. It's 5-3-33, 1-6-12 here at Manuka. 90 seconds into the second term. You're listening to Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Your experts, 162 games with Sydney and Carlton, Jason Saddington, and 220 with Brisbane and the Giants, Joel Patfull.
Yeah, you're right, Sato. There's a few confused looks between defenders there, but I think that's what happens when they're trying to play that defence, but they're also not closing that space on one-on-one. There's no actual accountability over opponents. So they almost need to go back to basics here and get some matchups and stick to that matchup for 5 or 10 minutes and settle the game down, because an uncontested mark 30 metres out from goal just shouldn't happen like that.
And it was from a clearance too. That first centre bounce of this quarter, Hawthorn marched straight out the front.
2 minutes into the second term. Hawthorn lead by 21. Newcombe, who's been busy, slaps it forward. After the bounce, gathered by Nash at centre half forward to the goal kicker in McDonald. Back to Newcombe. Now on his left, Ward goes into the pocket. It's a push by Iden on Gunston. It's a free kick to Iden, in fact.
Out in the full, yeah.
Out on the full.
Yep.
Okay. Well, that makes more sense.
It looked like a push, though, didn't it?
I was thinking, how on earth is Iden won that free kick, but it's out on the full. So it's impressive. Giants defender Connor Iden sends it up to the wing. Grusevski will leap. Sicily's right there with him, off hands and over the boundary line. Just forward of the wing for Hawthorn.
Yeah, you mentioned this at the break, Joel. The midfield is a big concern for the Giants. They're just getting bullied, and there is a size difference in there. I mean, Peatling's light, Bedford's light. He's still young, but they're just getting pushed around a bit by Warple and the like.
That's a good row from Bedford off the tap. He handed it to Green, who kicks it inside 50. It's in front of Gruzevski. He'll have to run onto it. Frost helping out his defender, Weddle. Taps it over the boundary line. And we are inside 50 for the Giants for the first time this quarter. We'll have a ball in about 45 metres out.
Yeah, you're right about the midfield, Sato. 7-0 centre clearance to the Hawks.
Briggs and Meek. Meek works his way to the front. Slapped away from him, though, by Briggs. Meek eventually gathers it, gives it to Amon Newcomb. Charged down upon by Toby Green, who then throws him to the ground, and it's on between the two of them. Green wrestled to the turf. Now Newcomb falls on his backside, breaks up quickly. I feel like that was a little message from the skipper.
It was.
Trying to wake up his team with a tackle he didn't need to make on Jai Newcomb, but one that might just send a message to get aggressive to his teammates.
We'll see if it can work. At the moment, they're 4 goals down. Hawks with the clearance from that contest. It was Warple up the line. Swinging across was Buckley. 3 Giants went up, which means when it hit the ground, it was all Hawks. Handball comes to Ginnivan. Wonky kick inside 50 to the one-on-one. It falls short of Moore. He travels, picks it up. He's tackled, handballed it towards a teammate. The umpire was convinced enough that it wasn't deliberate. So ball in 55 metres out from the Hawks' goal.
The Giants got out of jail there. There was one-on-one inside 50, a bit of space for, I think, Josh Ward against Perryman, but Perryman did well.
Hawks 5-3-33, Giants 1-6-12, and there's a free kick going the way of GWS at half-back to Toby Bedford.
Joel, wouldn't mind seeing Toby Green just go in the midfield for a couple of centre clearances, just try and stiffen him up in there.
Bedford goes short. Whitfield dropped the mark under pressure from McDonald. Gathered it again, though. Into the middle of the ground to Pitling. He wants to play on quickly. Looping handball to Callaghan. Finally, the flying fin gets going. Finds Daniels at centre half forward. He goes long, but he didn't really look at who he was kicking it to. It bounces in the goal square and doesn't cross the line. Frost had Grusevski closing down on him. Didn't take it over. It just set up for him. He was able to bring the ball back into play without giving up a score. Now the Hawks send it out to the wing. We'll have a boundary thrown on the outer side, but that was a bit of Russian roulette inside the defensive goal square from Hawthorn. Somehow it wasn't a score to GWS. Could have easily been a goal.
I think it might have been out on the full in the end. Umpires are just having a chat, and it'll go to Ward.
I think they're doing a delayed score review on the point, whether it crossed the line or not.
Well, that makes sense, because it was bouncing around on that line. Grusevski needed to attack it just a little bit harder.
Oh, wow, that is very tight. So the ball, there is probably a skerrick of the ball touching a skerrick of the line. This is anyone's guess.
I don't think it's fully crossed, you know.
So are we looking if it's a behind or a goal?
Correct.
Was it?
Yeah, no, it was behind.
Behind. He touched it before Frost, but then it didn't quite cross the line fully.
They've stopped the replay here. I'm interested because they stopped it before Frost then gathered it into his body when he might have dragged it across anyway. Umpire's call was play on, so they will get the out on the full kick. So Cal Ward has it between wing and half forward. Looks inside, instead goes inside 50. Hogan, the man they're targeting, had a lot of it. Spilt it late. Scrimshaw wants the boundary line. Handballs to a teammate who was even close to the boundary line, and eventually they get what they desire. Ball in the left forward pocket. 6.5 minutes into this second term. Hawks 33, Giants 12.
They could use the next one, the Giants trailing by 21 points. Briggs has front position. Toby Green gathers it, finds some space, squeezes it towards the attacking goal square. Frost gathers it. He's under pressure, though. Gives it to Jath. He tries to run away. Weddle gives it back to Jath. In the back pocket, sends it up outside defensive 50. Giants win it back, though, through Peatling. Snap ball into attack. Bouncing ball. Hogan was impacted as he tried to close in on the contest. Weddle does the defensive work. High ball to try and clear the dangerous area, and just bounces inside the boundary line from Blake Hardwick's kick. Boundary throw in, left half forward for the Giants, who are now giving Hawthorn some of their own medicine back, trapping them inside defensive 50.
They're patient, aren't they, Hawthorn? Very composed on that last line of defence.
Ball thrown in. Again, it hits the deck. O'Halloran, can he get his first touch the afternoon? He's tackled, so he won't. I reckon he'll know. That'll annoy him as well. So he'll have a ball up 45 metres from the Giants' goal. Still only one major, and it came 60 seconds into the game. They are freezing at the moment. They might be playing the 2019 game when it did snow. They'll have another ball up, 49 metres out. Tap from Meek towards the boundary line. First there is Brent Daniels. Jinks one way, goes the other. Turns back, has Callaghan. He does a U-turn, eventually kicks it inside 50. Standing under it was Ward, dropped a mark. Came to Jath, he was tackled. How did he get rid of that? The crowd thought that was a free kick. Play on, umpire says. Ward gets hands. Amon on his left down the line. Big contest. Himmelberg just muscles more out and takes the relieving mark. 75 from Giants goal.
Good grab, Himmelberg. And the Giants trapping Hawthorn in their own defensive half now. Himmelberg assesses his options, kicks high into attack. Hogan's underneath it and grabbing it. Well, he was right behind Scrimshaw there. He had no right to take that mark, Jesse Hogan. But such is the form and the power of the man at the minute. He took the contested mark. He'll kick from 30 out, slight angle to the right.
He's good to watch, isn't he, Jesse? He just finds a way to get to the contest, and he always meets it at the highest point. He judges the ball flight so well. Even if he's out of position, he finds a way to get there, get the hands up, and he's so strong. Like he said, he had no right to take that mark, second in line, but somehow drags it in.
The best contested marks in the competition, if not the best on form at the moment. One of the most accurate set shots as well. After missing one in the first term, he does not do the same with his effort afterwards. Hogan has 2 for the afternoon, and the Giants needed that one. Their second of the game. Hogan comes to the bench. So a big round of applause. The Giants are 2-6-18. Hawthorn 5-3-33.
Well, it was a much-needed goal, that's for sure. I mean, but they deserved it. They had a lot of ball in their front half. Hawthorn this time trying to get the ball out and couldn't. You know, Himmelberg, strong contested mark. They were able to get that ball back in towards Hogan. I think that had about the last 6 to 7 inside 50s. Finally, Hogan's able to take a mark and go back and deliver a goal that was very much needed. But I tell you what, all this game's played down that end that I can't see. I might as well have sat at home and watch this on the big TV.
Don't say that,
and just called it through.
Driven up 3 hours, haven't you?
Back in the middle of Monica. It's Hogan v the Hawks at the moment. He's got their only 2 goals. Newcomb is facing the wrong way. Handball to Day. Clearance comes from Amon. Deep kick to the left forward pocket. Buckley got rid of his opponent and took the intercept mark. That was solid. And that will repel that Hawks attack. They lead by 15.
The Giants have got the game back on their own terms now after Hawthorn dominated a large part of that first quarter. Kick up to the wing from Buckley. He's won by Impey, and then D'Ambrosio is trapped by McMullen. Doing some excellent defensive work on that wing, trying to keep D'Ambrosio under wraps, and he's caught him holding the ball just behind the wing for GWS. Next to the Hawks bench. Toby McMullen worked his way into this Giants side and sends it up to half forward. Briggs is there. Hawthorn try to win it back. Amon left it behind though. Now O'Halloran gets the hands free. Clever handball over the top to Cadman. Gives it back to O'Halloran. It was just behind him though, the handball. Cadman does well to keep it in. And goes back to Green. So now Gruszewski. McMullen will send them back inside 50 GWS. Looking to rove it is Jones and O'Halloran, and then Cadman, Thomas and Daniels wrap up a hawk in Sicily. Ball up deep inside 50 for GWS, who seem to have their confidence back and their understanding of the way this game is trending. They trail by 15 points.
Razor Ray throws it up, comes to Newcomb. He dishes it off. It's a good smother on D'Ambrosio. Heads goalward. Weddle's first there, dishes it off to D'Ambrosio, who's nudged over the line by Thomas. Harvey Thomas has played all 19 games in his first year. They will be loving that draft pick. Been doing his job again today with that pressure up forward. Ball spun back in, right forward pocket. Giants have the only goal of the second term so far. It's in their attacking area. Meek lays a heavy tackle, and we'll have another ball up about 20 metres from goal.
They've definitely lifted the pressure game the Giants. It's players like O'Halloran and Thomas. They aren't winning the footy too much, but their pressure game's up, and that's what's helping the Giants.
Meek down to Green. His tackle gets half a kick away. Still in dispute. Right forward pocket, 15 metres from goal. Brent Daniels goes and gets it. Throws his handball up. Was up for grabs, and Day tapped it over the boundary line where the 50 meets the paint.
So Bedford is standing Will Day now. He's at a few different opponents. Leads the league in tackles per game since he's been moved into that tagging role, Toby Bedford. What an impact he's having for the Giants. He's fallen on the football here inside 50, but Hardwick wraps him up.
He's doing the job. Day's only had 2 touches.
An excellent move by Adam Kingsley to move Bedford into the engine room. Bouncing ball inside 50, gathered by Tom Green. A snap from the boundary line for the Canberra boy. Across the face of goal. Good grab by Frost, who then dropped it, but is able to recover. Give it to Weddle. Sicily's almost caught. Grishevsky to Thomas over his shoulder, has missed it. Excellent forward pressure again from GWS. They're a little bit lackadaisical there, Hawthorn, trying to get it out of the deep defensive area, but Thomas doesn't make them pay through for a behind.
Amon has had a busy second quarter. He's up to 14 touches, finds Warple, who turns and goes, and a big mark from Cal Shadir. Although umpire doesn't pay it, he's still going to get possession, hit the ground eventually. His handball to Meek, though, missed. Buckley was first there for the Giants. D'Ambrosio can't keep it in. Ball goes out just in front of the Giants. Interchange bench. We've hit 14 minutes second term. Hawks still up by 14, but well, Jason Saddington, Joel Patfull, feels like the Giants have got the game back on their terms at the very least.
Certainly got the momentum.
Hawks by 14. Over the head of Briggs and Meek. Tom Green does well to get the hands free under pressure from Warple and give it to Bedford. The kick to half forward. Grishevsky's worked off the football rather too easily there by Blake Hardwick. Grishevsky in for just his 3rd AFL game. After Jake Riccardi dislocated his finger and was ruled out for the rest of the home and away season. Should be back for finals. Sicily sends it up to Impey. That's an inch perfect kick just inside the boundary line at left half back for Jarman Impey to mark. He'll kick up the wing. Dylan Moore will leap for it over his head. At the back of the pack is Perryman. To Himmelberg and now Ash. Can they get their run going, the Giants? Ash will look to switch it to Iden. And the Hawks do well to set up nicely across half forward in a defensive trend, and Iden will have to go short instead.
Yeah, they've done well, Hawthorn, to slow them up and push them wide. Now they're coming back across the other side of the ground, but the Giants always trying to get through the corridor and get some hands. Hawthorn just aren't allowing that from the back half.
Cal Ward gave it to Taylor, who had Whitfield on the out. Goes to a 3-on-1 though. It'll take all of Hogan's skill. He at least neutralises the contest. Hits the ground. O'Halloran first there. Wobbly one towards goal. It just won't reach. Amon was waiting in the goalkeeper position. Minor score. It's 5-3-33 to 2-8-20.
13 points the lead in favour of Hawthorn. Here's Sicily. In the right back pocket. 16 minutes gone in the second. A short to Ward, now up to the wing, over the head of Ginnivan and Iden. Whitfield does the sweeping work at left half back. Has Iden in support. Giants defence clicking nicely now. Here's Cadman in the middle of the ground. A short to Tom Green, out wider on the wing to Perryman and out a half forward. Giants kicking to the right of your radio dial or ABC Listen app. It's with Harvey Thomas. Hawthorn get back well in numbers, so Thomas will have to go laterally to Whitfield. He lowers the eyes, looking for a penetrating kick. Doesn't see anything he likes, so goes high, looking for Grishevsky. Couldn't take the grab. And then O'Halloran and Jones do well to wrap up Amon. Inside 50, the ball sits again for GWS. Hawthorn, though, lead by 13 points.
They just need something out of their other marking players. Hogan's been fantastic, but Cadman, Grishevsky, only young players, but they need to get some marking ability out of those guys in this game.
Well, Cadman's the second ruck at the moment. Gets it down to Green. He's tackled. Ball comes loose. Cadman follows up with a tackle. That's good from the number 1 draft pick, who was dropped earlier on this year. He spent 2 games in the VFL and he dominated. He looked a class above. He's come back up and hasn't been able to kick goals. Chol literally leaps right over Cadman. Cadman ended up picking up the footy, gave it to Bedford, to McMullen. Inside 50 for the Giants here. Gave it to Halloran, who lost it in the tackle, and the Hawks break. Cal Shadir against Iden. He was being held, so the free kick will go the way of the Hawk. in front of the Giants bench. Hawks lead by 13, 17 minutes into the second.
Shadir up to half forward. Sam Taylor will pick that off all day long. The number one intercept player in the competition with the mark just outside defensive 50 for the Giants. Whitfield shares it with Perryman. Now Himmelberg to the outer wing. Thomas drifting deeper from half forward to mark. Now runs on to his left. Guys are looking for Toby Green, but well done by Hardwick to just work Toby Green off the football. Just put it, it's a bit too high there, Harvey Thomas, and Hardwick was able to mark it right half back.
Well, once again, they didn't have the target down the line, did they? They had Grzyzewski down there, but he's just not giving that target, and he just has to bring that ball to ground.
Short to Amon, back of the square. 2-on-2 ahead of him. Iden makes good fist of it. Then literally fisted it. It came back to him. He's tackled by Nash. Gets the handball. Umpire calls play on. Could have gone either way. It's gone forward. Edge of the centre square. Numbers are with the Hawks. Little tap on from Impey. Wide to D'Ambrosio, who marks on the logo. He has a really short option in more to his left. Marks in front of the interchange bench. Hawks in possession. They lead by 13. Doesn't like anything ahead of the ball. So he goes back to his captain. And a 50-metre penalty. Toby Green, he thought he'd set the mark a little bit sideways. The umpire said it was ahead of the mark.
It's the most frustrating rule in footy, this. The 50-metre penalty just doesn't seem to fit the crime.
Well, I'm not sure what it was for. Was it because he was over the mark or because he was standing the wrong direction?
Oh, that was brilliant from Sicily. D'Ambrosio was just wandering into 50, and Sicily pointed at a spot, kicked it 10 metres ahead of him. D'Ambrosio had no other option than to follow the directions of his skipper. Marks it on a 45-degree angle, and he'll kick from 35 metres. He kicked it to where he wanted him to go. You wouldn't disobey Sicily if you're a Hawks player right now. So D'Ambrosio lines up. His first season as a Hawk, mid-season draftee for Essendon a couple of years ago. He's got a great left foot, swings it back, right over the umpire's hat. And the Hawks have 6. It is 6-3, 39, 2-8, 20. A 50-metre penalty. And the ball in Sicily's hand resulting in a goal. We've seen that before. Round 13 to be precise.
I was going to say, so it'd be frustrating as a Giants player. They've done so much right to hold the ball inside their front, in their forward 50, and a touchy 50-metre penalty. Toby was over the mark there, but it's hard to, there was no warning from the umpire. It was an immediate 50, wasn't it? So it's tough to call that one.
So the kicks come inboard from the boundary. Toby's come from side on and then just stood like on the mark, side on to where he marked it. Yeah, probably 5 metres away, and the umpire said, well, 50 because, I don't know, he wasn't in the normal spot where you'd stand the mark, was he? But that's where he'd come from.
Maybe angling his body to try and stop the kick inboard, but 50 metres for that is rather harsh. But the Hawks will take the decision, most certainly. They still had work to do, and they made the most of it. Great kick down D'Ambrosio. Here is Toby Green in the middle of the ground. Won the free kick. Kicks the Giants inside 50. Cadman leap, made a good contest out of it. Briggs is there. Got it free. Daniels picks it up, goes backwards to McMullen, spots up Darcy Jones in the pocket who marks. Well done, McMullen, good vision. And Jones will kick from the left forward pocket. He'll have some work to do from here. He's about 30 out, tied up on the boundary, but the Giants need this one. They trail by 19 points as we get close to half-time.
Just watch it. Aaron Cadman, was the player that brought the ball to ground, so that's what you need at least from a tall forward. But he gets his hands to a lot of footy, but none of them stick yet, do they?
Jones runs around and snaps across the face. No, he doesn't. It's through for a goal. Well, no one behind the goals looked like they were celebrating. The Giants cheer squad is there. They've got the best view in the house from that angle. And they did not celebrate at all. So it's a goal to Darcy Jones.
The Hawks pointing to the post.
It looked extremely close. I thought it was going to hit the post, if not go the other side, but somehow it just kept curving back late.
Excellent finish by Jones. Made his debut on this ground and has been a consistent goal kicker since doing so for GWS. So the margin is back to 7 points. If this goal is paid, they are reviewing it, and there might just be a little bit of work on Snicko. I think this is going to be overturned. So the initial instinct was right that it wasn't a major. and it won't be to Darcy Jones. So they are inaccurate, GWS. They haven't had, though, easy kicks. I mean, if Hawthorn are doing anything right defensively, they're doing a lot right, but they're just making the Giants kick from difficult spots. And that one's hit the post. So 2-9-21 GWS, Hawthorn was 6-3-39. We've gone 22 and a half minutes in the second term.
Too true, but you do have to take your chance. When you got the momentum, you need to capitalise 100%, especially in tough games like this.
Sicily advances and goes down the middle. Centre square. Watson leaps. Just drops it late. He had the sit. Probably could have taken that. It hits the deck. Peatling picks it up, has one go. Ends up hitting the ground. He's tackled. Ball up on the right side of the logo. Defensive side for the Hawks. 23 minutes have elapsed in the second. Doing the ruck work. Briggs. The tap. Ward with the footy. Forward handball to Brent Daniels. He's got Peatling. Goes by foot instead a bit longer. Running at it. Hogan. Hit his shoulder. Bounced off. CJ tackled by Jones. He handballed wide to Hogan. To Green. Flying shot on goal. Just can't bend it enough. Nowhere near enough. It's out in the full. Just to the right of the behind post. No score. So it remains 39-21. Hawks leading.
D'Ambrosio out to right half back over the head of Dylan Moore. Ash is right there with him. Well done, Moore, to get free of Ash. And then handball inboard for Ward. He left it behind. Cadman's there. The big man tries to tap at his advantage. Himmelberg gives him some help. Handball over the top looking for Jones. Well picked up though by D'Ambrosio. Inboard to Impey at centre half back. Newcomb gets away from Peatling. He's got the tagging job on him. Kicks up to half forward. Well done by Watson. Took the grab as Sam Taylor was closing down on him. Advantage paid to Chol, who spots up Meek. Quick thinking from the Hawks. Well done, Chol. After the free kick went to Watson. To gather the football, keep moving, and kick to Meek. He'll kick from outside 50 on a 45-degree angle.
That's what... Sorry, mate.
You go.
I was going to say, how good a pickup's Chol been for the Hawks?
Awesome.
He's even around the ground, his skill level, his execution, he finds targets inside 50, but creates that contest from him as well. As you saw then, lace out on the wing, beautiful kick.
The big Lloyd Meek, 45-degree angle to the right from just inside 50. It's a good-looking ball. It hits the post. Hits the post about 3/4 up. Struck it beautifully. Hawthorn 6-4-40. The Giants 2-9-21. And it's a 19-point lead to Sam Mitchell's side.
Whitfield plays on out of the goal square and finds Ash. Oh, his kick is a shocker. Turns it over to Whitfield. Still in D50. Hawks tackle. Comes to McDonald. Hands off to Day. Inboard to Nash. Directly in front of goal. Decides to hand it off instead. Gunston just won't miss that. The three-time premiership player eats that up for breakfast. A turnover from Ash to Whitfield. Two of their better users. Clumsy play from the Giants, and it cost them. Hawks 7-4-46. The Giants 2-9-21. Sunday Arvo here at Manuka, and the Giants are all at sea.
Well, the Hawks make him pay. It's a very poor kick from Lockie Ash. Under no pressure. It was from a mark. He's trying to hit back in the corridor. The kick was wide open and on to Whitfield, but he just was lazy on the kick. He scrubbed it, put Whitfield under all sorts of pressure, and the Hawks are there to swarm, put the tackles on, and then they just had the numbers. And, of course, Gunston, he's not going to miss when he receives 20 metres out in front of goal. Hawthorn just making the most of their opportunities, that's for sure. They got it from a 50. And a nice pass inside earlier from D'Ambrosio, got his goal from the pocket, and then that one just from a turnover. Poor Giants' mistake. They're just taking their chances.
Gunston has two. Hawks lead by 25. This machine keeps rolling on. GWS goes inside 50 though. Daniels dropped a mark he should have taken. Jones tries to slap it forward, and then regathers it. Can't quite pick it up. He's scrapping away amongst the bootlaces of Sicily. Sicily keeps his feet though, goes back to Scrimshaw. He looked for Amon but completely missed him with the handball. We'll have a boundary throw in. Left forward pocket for GWS.
Well, they need to find another avenue to goal, don't they?
Yep.
We talked about it earlier. Hogan is the only one that looks like kicking a goal here. Daniels there, open chest mark. Just have to take those opportunities.
Meek gets the tap, but it comes to Briggs, who dishes off to Captain Green. Well, he's trying to spark them with tackles, and he might just try and spark them with goals as well. Out of nothing, congested contest, Green goals. And they have three, finally. 7-4-46 to 3-9-27. Your experts, Joel Patfull and Jason Saddington on ABC Sport.
It's amazing you say that, Joel. They need to find another avenue to goal. And if they're ever struggling to get a goal. It's always Toby Green that just plucks something out of nowhere, doesn't he? I mean, there was nothing pretty about that. Just to gather from Briggs, a little tap to him. He's under the pump. He throws it on the boot, but it goes straight and it goes through. You know, if there's ever a player to do it, it's Toby. But you're right. Like Brent Daniels not getting shots on goal. Harvey Thomas not getting shots on goal. O'Halloran's not getting shots on goal. They're putting pressure on, but they're not creating opportunities to then go back and kick some.
You're right. You talk about making the most of your opportunities. Toby Green had 2 seconds to execute that under pressure and makes the most of it.
3 goals for the Giants, 2 to Hogan, 1 to Green. Sometimes they say there's too much pressure on those two. And the scoreboard tells you that story this afternoon as we have a secondary ball up in the middle of the ground after the bounce.
Tackle number 8 for Peatling there.
Here's Sicily. The Hawks skipper throws it on the boot. It spirals torpedo-like inside 50 over the head of Gunston and Buckley. Ash picks it up. His kick is well smothered. Excellent work from the wizard in Watson. Diving across the bootlaces of Lockie Ash. Boundary throw in right half forward for the Hawks. But they need someone else to stand up inside 50. Too often, too much is asked of Hogan and Green.
Well, you're right, and it's definitely reflective today. So who that person is, we're not sure because it doesn't look like there's a player out there today. Maybe they've got to make a few changes.
Meek budged straight into Briggs, who fell over. Meek fell over maybe to disguise it, and Briggs looks a bit sore. The whistle's been blown, so the free kick will go to Briggs, and the 50's been paid as well. Briggs gets up, definitely nursing that shoulder. He's advanced all the way to the middle of Manuka, and no one's on the mark, so he goes a bit further. Deep penetrative kick. Can they get a grab? It falls over the back. Krzyzewski claims the mark. Not paid. Handballs up for grabs. It's a volleyball game at the moment. Tip, tap, comes to Green. He's tackled. His handball was judged as a throw. Free kick goes the way of the tackler, who was Blake Hardwick. Hawks have it deep in their D50.
29 and a half minutes gone in the second term.
The Hawks backline just absorbing it well, aren't they? They're under the pump. There's a lot of ball going in there. It's very chaotic, but they just keep standing up.
Hawks maintaining this 3-goal break. They lead by 19 points. D'Ambrosio sends it up to the wing, and there's a free kick going the way of the Hawks now. And Will Day for a hold against him. His kick goes up to half forward into a one-on-one. Watson and Perryman. Perryman does well with strength. Win the contest to go back to Whitfield. The handball to Bedford. And now Buckley has to kick to half forward. Krzyzewski's underneath it. Weddle just beats him rather too easily. They're having the best of the Giants youngster at the moment. Weddle marks and plays on through the middle of Manuka Oval and kicks to centre half forward.
CJ at the back. Little nudge. It goes that way, but it beats him. Bounce then skittles the Giants. Meek with the footy inside 50. And a good late spoil came from Buckley over the boundary line in the right forward pocket. Saved a simple mark and another shot on goal. 30 minutes have elapsed. We're nearing half-time. Ball will be thrown in as the Giants trail by 19 here at Manuka, where they're 2 from 2 in 2024. They were bumped from 5th to 8th as the round has gone on. They can go well into the top 4 with a win, but at the moment, the Hawks are on top. Scrappy contest. Diving on it. This is danger. And the Giants will get a shot on goal. Who's going to rise from the pack and pick up the footy?
The Hawks will.
Sorry, the Hawks will. It is Moore who will kick for goal. The crowd gave it away a little bit. There's plenty of brown and gold in today. Don't know if Canberra has a sneaky Hawthorn community or whether they've travelled up from Melbourne, but I don't want to say 50-50 split, but a fair showing from the Hawks fans, and Darcy Moore lines up for goal in the shadows of half-time. He kicked a goal. He's up to 29 in the season. To make it 30, the goal umpire has to work. Cannons into the post. So a minor score gets the Hawks to 47. The Giants are on 27. It is 7-4 to 3-9.
Big opportunity missed there by Dylan Moore. Time ticking down as we get to half-time. That would have been big for Hawthorn. As Hogan takes an excellent contested grab just behind the wing. So an opportunity here, with about 30 seconds to go until the main break, for the Giants to try and just trim this margin even further. Hawthorn set up well defensively. Gunston holds up Whitfield. Has to go short to Hogan. He's a long way from home. Time might evade them now. Sam Mitchell's side know the equation as we get close to the main break, and they have their structure set up superbly. So Hogan will go back to Iden. And that will do us. to half-time at Manuka Oval. Hawthorn maintaining their momentum here in the nation's capital. They are 7-5-47. The Giants in danger of losing their 4-game winning streak at 3-9-27. They've been inaccurate, but Hawthorn have had the better of this game so far, and what a story it would be in his second season as head coach if Sam Mitchell can take them all the way through to finals football. What an impact he's having on this football club. Goal kickers in that quarter, Hogan and Green for the Giants, McDonald, D'Ambrosio and Gunston for the Hawks. Your experts on Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport are Jason Saddington and Joel Patfull.
Yeah, well, it's turned into a bit of a scrappy game of footy that quarter, wasn't it? It was a battle of defences and who could hold in there the best, and a couple of errors ended up being the difference between whether the teams kick goals. But the Hawks midfield, for me, is still getting on top. They've been powerful in clearance and getting the ball forward, and the Giants just haven't been able to go with them. Callaghan and Peatling just haven't been able to get their hands on the footy. 6 and 4 touches, each for a half of footy in the midfield just isn't good enough.
Sam Mitchell's third season in charge of Hawthorn. My apologies, not his second. You could hear Hawthorn fans raging as they heard that.
You could feel that.
He's gone.
But I mean, from where they were at the start of the year, it would be fantastic.
Amazing story.
Well, and the footy they're playing too, deserves to play finals footy. I mean, they're hot. They're great, and they're just making it really difficult for the Giants, aren't they? One thing that I did love, I mean, the Giants had a lot of ball in their front half there in that quarter. They kept kicking it in deep. They kept getting it in high. The ball's coming to ground. You know, the Giants' smaller forwards are trying to get busy and they're putting pressure on, but Hawthorn's quite composed down there as well. They're able to win the footy and try and exit it back out. They're not giving up goals, and that's what we're talking about during the quarter, weren't we? The Giants need to find another way to kick some goals. Jesse Hogan's the only one that looks likely at the moment. Toby Green pulled one out of nowhere, which Toby Green does. But we're not getting shots on goal from Daniels. We're not getting, or a look at it even, apart from pressure. O'Halloran, Harvey Thomas, and they're young, tall forwards. I know they're young and it's tough, but they have to find a way to stand up, don't they? Cadman's, really not in the game and not looking a threat up forward. And Krasevsky, again, only in his third game of footy, but he's probably been pushed out of it a few times in the contest. They need to find a way to get something out of some of those forwards.
Well, you said chaotic in the way that they're moving the ball forward, and that's how it feels, doesn't it? There's no real system or structure or fluency in the way that the Giants forward line's working together, and it's a long kick to the goal square and a big contest, and it's kind of, let's see what can happen. It doesn't look like they're working fluently together and creating opportunities for those younger forwards who probably need it laced out a little bit more than kicking on their head.
Well, it was the question mark coming into the game as well in terms of the Giants midfield. I mean, two massive players are missing at the moment in Josh Kelly and Stephen Coniglio. I don't care who you are. You take two of your best three mids out, it's hard to win football games. Now, they did it last week, and they've done it a few times this season, but they only narrowly got past the Demons, with Callaghan and Peatling having really big games. Callaghan has struggled to get into this contest. Peatling's doing some good defensive work, but they need to give some help to Tom Green, don't they? And that's probably something that Adam Kingsley needs to work through at halftime, along with finding some more forward marking options to go with Toby Green and Jesse Hogan.
Absolutely. And I think they know around the stoppage they're probably a little bit vulnerable. I mean, Tom Green's a great contested player. The others probably are a little bit vulnerable. The difference Finn Callaghan and Peatling have probably had over the last few weeks is the off-ball possessions that they win, and the Giants just haven't had a chance to get that run game going, switch off the line, get in the middle, handball, the tsunami type football. That's when you see Callaghan and those guys actually getting involved in the chain, and that's when they're more damaging midfielders as opposed to centre bounce, boundary throw in, and that's where they're getting exposed.
They're not your typical inside mids, are they? They're more your outside runners, and they do look stronger, that Hawthorn midfield. They've got Newcomb and they've got Warple inside, who are bigger body mids that have been able to get the contest and feed the ball out from there, which is where they're beating the Giants at the moment.
Something that strikes you as well watching the Hawks live, and we've marvelled at them watching them numerous times this season, when you're at the ground, how quickly they jump into their structure when they don't have the ball. It's almost instant. We saw it there 30 seconds before half-time. The Giants have taken a mark. They want to get going, and there's literally nothing within a second of Hogan marking it for them to go to, because Hawthorn is so well set up. I mean, the impact he's had on this club, Sam Mitchell, in that sense is great to watch, isn't it?
It's a great connection, understanding what you need to do. So, they'll have a wing release a half back and a half forward, release the winger, and or release a mid, just so they can get that extra behind the ball, but still cover up the corridor or fill the gaps that they need to fill. That's what they've been very good at, Hawthorn, and it doesn't look robotic and clunky and really hard structures. It's just this natural off-ball movement, is it, that allows them to be able to do it.
Yeah, it is, and we talked about Ginnivan getting high up the ground, and he contested a ball in the defensive 50 and brought it to ground as a half forward. So that's the flexibility they've got within their roles. They don't have to play half forward and they replace the winger. If there's a position for him to fill, he fills that, brings it to ground, takes his position back as a half forward and sets up the structure again. So, like you said, Sam Mitchell's got them well drilled, well structured, and they look like they're a fine-oiled machine at the moment, don't they?
And they've found a way to just beat the oppo at the oppo's game, like stopping the opposition be able to play the way they want to play. And the Giants haven't been able to play their brand because Hawthorn, the way that they are setting up, the way that they are playing, is stopping the Giants get their brand going.
Goal kickers 2 half-time. Gunston has 2 for Hawthorn. Weddle, Moore, McDonald, D'Ambrosio, Chol with the other majors. And for GWS, it's the 2 leaders in the forward line. Hogan with 2. He's only 1 off Charlie Curnow now for the Coleman, and Toby Green with the other. They led by 15 points at quarter time. The Hawks, they lead by 20 at the main break. WA listeners, you'll be leaving us and going to the MCG for our coverage of Essendon and Fremantle after the news. This is Sunday afternoon footy from the nation's capital, Manuka Oval. The Giants and the Hawks who lead by 20 at the main break. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. The Race Discrimination Commissioner has welcomed the Northern Territory Police Commissioner's apology for racism towards Indigenous people at the Garma Festival in the Top End. Political reporter Dana Morse is there.
The apology from Police Commissioner Michael Murphy to Indigenous communities in the Territory is reverberating around the Garma Festival in northeast Arnhem Land. The Prime Minister has welcomed the apology as an action of Makarrata, a Yolngu word meaning coming together after a struggle. National Race Discrimination Commissioner Giri Sirivarma has also backed the decision, but says it needs to be followed with action.
I commend the Commissioner for doing so. But then the courage will be in seeing it through.
The festival will finish on Monday.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister is rejecting suggestions he's redefining his commitment to Makarrata. First Nations leaders are calling on him to commit, as promised, to the remainder of the Uluru Statement, including a Makarrata Commission. That would look to enable treaty and truth-telling between governments and First Nations people, but Anthony Albanese says the federal government hasn't proposed a commission.
Makarrata means coming together. There has been a struggle and we do want to come together. That's a process of engaging, working together, walking side by side.
Australia's Olympic team will have more chances to boost its medal tally heading into the 9th day of the Games in Paris. Fraser Fyfe with more.
Australia will be looking for more success in the pool, with Shayna Jack and Meg Harris racing in the women's 50-metre final, while both the men's and women's relay teams will compete in the 4x100-metre medley final. There will also be action in athletics, with Nicola Oleslagers and Eleanor Patterson in the women's high jump final, as well as Abby Caldwell and Claudia Hollingsworth looking to book their place in the women's 800-metre final. Meanwhile, Australia's women's cycling team will take part in the 158-kilometre road race. Australia sits 4th on the Olympic medal table with 12 gold, 8 silver and 7 bronze.
Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro has addressed a rally of supporters in the capital Caracas. He's told the crowd that thousands of people have been arrested during unrest that's broken out after last weekend's contested presidential elections. Mr. Maduro says they'll be sent to prison for maximum punishment and there will be no pardons. Earlier, opposition leader Maria Corina Machado also addressed a large crowd in the capital, saying the government is trying to steal the election by force.
We will not be provoked. Violence is there because it's the only option they have left. We will not respond to any provocations. We won't attack. The world knows they intend to forcefully withhold the result. 6 days later, they haven't handed over a single record.
The British Prime Minister Keir Starmer has met with his Justice and Home Secretaries as anti-immigration protests spread across the UK. Police have clashed with protesters in a number of cities. It follows a mass stabbing at a children's dance class in Southport that left 3 children dead. Ukraine's military says it's destroyed a Russian submarine anchored at port in occupied Crimea. Officials say the Kilo-class Rostov-on-Don has sunk after it was hit in the city of Sevastopol. The vessel is one of 4 submarines operated by Russia's Black Sea Fleet. There's been no comment on the attack from Moscow. Earlier, Ukraine struck an airfield in Russia's Rostov region. Footage from that attack shows large explosions and massive fires. Closer to home, a second person has died in the Legionnaire's outbreak in metropolitan Melbourne, with the number of cases standing at 77. Victoria's Chief Health Officer says the man who died was aged in his 60s and was admitted to hospital on the 27th of July. Dr. Claire Looker says there's been a decrease in the speed of notification of people testing positive. She says investigations are continuing into the source of the outbreak, which is linked to suburbs in Melbourne's west.
We've visited 54 high-priority sites, all of which have cooling towers in the Derrimut and Laverton North area, where we have tested and directed operators to disinfect their facilities for Legionella bacteria. While we've not yet identified a single cooling tower, there is a high likelihood that we have already tested and treated the source.
And Australian golfer Grace Kim remains in the top 10 heading into the final round of the LPGA's Portland Classic. Kim carded a third round of 2 under par to sit at 15 under for the tournament. That's 4 shots behind American leader Andrea Lee. Fellow Australian Robin Choi is tied for 15th at 12 under, and Gabriella Ruffles is 3 shots further back at 9 under par. You're up to date with the latest from ABC News.
G'day, Patrick Stack here from ABC Sport Daily. If you love sport,
people really love a redemption story, but people also love seeing the GOAT.
And great conversation.
She said she felt calm on the water, and she was a bit worried about feeling calm because Tokyo was quite the opposite, I think.
Then you would love ABC Sport Daily.
How does she get the best out of herself as an athlete under all of the lights and all of the action?
ABC Sport Daily. Get it on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
He had a career game last week, McDonald. He had 28 and 3 goals. Well, he's opened his account here in Canberra. And that is 5 on the trot. Alarm bells must be going off for the Giants.
Himmelberg assesses his options, kicks high into attack. Hogan's underneath that and grabbing it. Well, he was right behind Scrimshaw there. He had no right to take that mark, Jesse Hogan. After missing one in the first term, he does not do the same.
So D'Ambrosio lines up. He's got a great left foot, swings it back, right over the umpire's hat. And the Hawks have 6. Hands off to Day, inboard to Nash. Directly in front of goal, decides to hand it off instead. Gunston just won't miss that. The 3-time premiership player eats that up for breakfast. He gets the tap, but it comes to Briggs, who dishes off to Captain Green. Well, he's trying to spark them with tackles, and he might just try and spark them with goals as well.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
The Hawks lead by 20 points at halftime here at Manuka Oval in Canberra. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport, 7-5-47 Hawthorn. An inaccurate GWS at 3-9-27. So they've won 11 of their last 14. They're looking for 4 in a row, Hawthorn. It's such an open season. Jason Saddington and Joel Patfull, our experts on ABC Sport. It's quite incredible that every single side in the top 8 has been, now that the Swans and Blues have dropped off, have been criticised or written off at some stage. There's been a point in the season, Brisbane early on, Geelong had their moment, Freo a few weeks ago when they got smashed by the Bulldogs, where people have gone to town on them and said, right, well, now they're shaky, they can't win the flag. So with that in mind, you look at a team like Hawthorn, and you just think, well, why not? Why can't they go really deep into September like the Giants did last year? And conversely, GWS, if they can go on a run, it feels like anyone can win it. And the Hawthorn team that we're watching close up today, I mean, they're the side that we'll focus on in that sense because of their 20-point lead at half-time and the run they're on.
And you forgot Port Adelaide. Ken Hinkley was getting sacked about 6-7 weeks ago.
So was Luke Beveridge. They're probably the two hottest teams inside the top 8 right now.
100%. And anyone can win it. The Swans are in a hole, like an absolute hole. They've gone from premiership favourites a few weeks ago to you wouldn't even want to back them to win the flag. The most informed teams in the comp, the Bulldogs, who are just sneaking into the 8 now, and probably Hawthorn, who are giving it to the Giants right now. It's a fascinating season, and it's kind of like with the Olympics on and the cycling, there's been kind of this peloton in through the middle, and it's kind of breaking into two. The just outside the 8 starting to drop away a little bit. Gold Coast dropping off, and maybe Melbourne starting to slip away from it. And the out in front leader, the Swans, well, the peloton's chewing them up from behind now. It's a fascinating season, and it's going to come down to, over the next couple of rounds are really important where everyone's going to finish. But I think it's going to come down to who you end up facing in the finals. Who you come up against just by where they've finished and where you've finished. You might end up, if you get Brisbane at the Gabba, you're probably going, oh, gee. But you might perhaps get, let's say, a Carlton in Melbourne, and Carlton might still be limping a little bit. You go, well, we can win that one. You just don't know what you're going to get, and I think that's what it's going to come down to.
Well, I think it shows as well injury list and how important having your best team out there. 3 or 4 injuries can really change the way your team performs and at that high level, but also getting momentum at the right time of the year. You saw the Swans were hot for so long, and they've just hit a hole where their energy's down and the momentum's down, and they just can't seem to get over the line. So you see with the Hawks now, you get on a bit of a run, and it's how do you maintain that energy for week in, week out. And for the season's such a long year, it's 24 games, you go into the finals, it's such a drain for the players to be at that highest level for so long. And it is so even that you need to be at that top 100% every single game. So I think Sam Mitchell's been managing it very well with giving the Hawks the freedom. There's not a huge amount of pressure on the team to perform every week, and they're going out and playing their personalities, and they don't look like they're held back by anything without any outside pressure, at least anyway.
You look at the live ladder as well. So the Giants, if they lose this, will be level with Footscray and Carlton, who have a much better, or have a better percentage. Hawthorn would be level with them. And Garby, you mentioned that the Hawks have Richmond and North Melbourne. It's the opposite for GWS. They have the Lions in Brisbane, and they have the Bulldogs in Ballarat. So they'll go into 2 games underdogs. They do have Freo as well. So
that's also tough.
That's really tough. So they've got, if they drop this game, real chance of missing the finals, but they're also the real chance of making the top 4. It's wild. This second half is set up.
Yeah, I mean, you look at a team like Geelong, who are in 3rd. They're a game off Sydney. If someone had told you 6 weeks ago that would be the proposition,
well, the Port Adelaide
you'd
too.
Think you're mad, because Geelong just seemed like they'd had their little run and they're aging, and it just seems so open at the moment. And it's great for us to take in, but it just feels like they're almost elimination finals or qualifying finals for a month leading up to September. I want to ask you, though, because the criticism and the media writing off certain teams, has that been real, or are we too reactive nowadays? Are there too many analysis shows and podcasts and headlines to be grabbed that sometimes we jump too much at things rather than just letting things breathe for a week and just accepting that some sides might have a 2 to 3 week spell where they're flat mentally and physically?
Well, that is the norm, isn't it? You're going to get some flat spots throughout a season. No one's been able to.
But we don't accept them anymore from the top teams. No,
because there is so much assessment and analysis on it, and probably this year too, because it is so important that you keep winning. So, look, it's tough as a fan. I mean, obviously you want to go there and see your team perform at their best every single week. So when they're a bit off, you're like, oh, what's going on? And I'm going to jump on the radar. I'm going to write my comments on social media, and everyone gets in this big conversation around it. And Luke Beveridge would be one who would say, you just have to let it settle. And he feels the heat. He was feeling it earlier in the year, but I'm sure he knew where things were going and what he was doing, and look where they're at now.
It's been such a strange year week to week, but also quarter to quarter. Like, you don't know where that momentum's coming from. You've seen teams score so quickly in such a short amount of time and turn the game on its head that no one really knows, and this game is a perfect example. The Giants could come out and kick the first 5 goals, as they've done earlier in the year, and could change the whole game. But I think we have been too quick to jump on teams this year for sure.
Yeah, but perhaps with the second half to play out here, the winner of this game could just set themselves up perfectly. I mean, the Hawks, as we said, with Richmond and North Melbourne to come in their final 2, not those are easy games to win, but they'll go in warm favourites. They can set themselves up for a really good position come the start of the finals. The Giants can battle for a top 8 spot or maybe move into the top 4. It's a fantastic finish to the season, and we've got a massive second half here from the nation's capital in Canberra. Hawthorn lead by 20 points. They're 7-5-47. The Giants 3-9-27. The start of the third term in front of a sold-out crowd here at Manuka Oval isn't too far away. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport. Declan Byrne to start the third term for us.
So they've sent Toby Green into the middle again. He's their spark, and look where Toby Bedford is. He's with Newcomb, who has 6 clearances. The nearest Giant has 3. So they've identified him as potentially a dangerous one.
Yeah, Callahan's gone out to the wing for the Giants.
There you go. Ready to go here in Canberra. An intriguing second half. Both these teams season deciding potentially. And Green gets that first clearance to Ward. The old stages combine. It comes to Bedford. His kick is smothered. Great effort from Day, who receives it back. Hands from D'Ambrosio. He uses it by foot. Himmelberg comes late with the spoil, and the umpire says it was all legal. Ball goes out of bounds on the far wing, between wing and half forward for the Hawks.
So we'll find Toby Green just for the centre bounce. Tom Green started forward. They've already flipped. Green for Green.
20-point lead to Hawthorn. Start of the third. Meek down nicely to Newcomb. Another clearance for him. Handball to D'Ambrosio on his left, just inside 50. Just composes himself and slots it. Oh, it's a weapon, that left boot of his. And Massimo D'Ambrosio has 2. Hawthorn extend their lead out to 26 points. You just can't give him that much space.
Oh, horrible midfield work from the Giants. They're just giving up clearance. Easy work. Who was it that won the clearance? Newcomb straight at D'Ambrosio, and what a pickup he's been for them. Hasn't he been electric? He's got a ripping left foot. He's had 2 great shots on goal now that he's kicked, but just really poor midfield work from the Giants, which was the highlight of the first. Well,
you say both ways. It's poor by the Giants, but unbelievable by the Hawks.
Absolutely.
It's movement through the stoppage, a great tap to advantage, and it's all it takes sometimes, a couple of metres. And Ambrosio inside 50, that's 2 finishes today that have been unbelievable.
15 touches, 2 goals for D'Ambrosio. He was the last second trade deal from Essendon to Hawthorn for a set of steak knives, and he has been a diamond find for Sam Mitchell's side.
Ball slammed down in the middle of the Manuka Oval. Briggs got the tap, but again the Hawks win the clearance. This time it's through Day on his left foot. Bit of a push from Buckley. Umpire says it's okay, and he takes the intercept mark in his defensive 50. Newcomb, 7 clearances already. Bedford has the job on him. Buckley straight down the middle, and Himmelberg was free. Back edge of the centre square, takes the mark. Has Tom Green on the edge of the centre square. He marks. Looks forward. No one's in front of him on the mark, so he waits and waits. Himmelberg comes for a long 1-2. There's 50 metres between it. Inside 50, on the lead, Hogan. That's how it started in quarter 1. Maybe that's the only way they're going to try wrestle the game back. He'll kick for goal, slide angle from 42 metres.
Himmelberg was quiet in the first half, had 8 touches, and he needs to get involved more. He's got such a damaging kick. He's so accurate inside 50, and you see he got used twice in that passage of play, hit Hogan lace out.
So with Curnow going goalless for the first time in an eternity last night in their heartstopper against Collingwood, and Hogan already having 2 goals to his name today, if he kicks 3, he draws level at the top of the Coleman to get the Giants going in the third quarter. He is a dead-eye. 3 goals to the day. He's atop the Coleman, and the Giants badly needed that one. It is 8-5-53 to 4-9-33. Back to that 20-point margin. 3.5 minutes gone on ABC Sport. Here on your Sunday Arvo and Manuka, Jason Saddington, Joel Patfull.
It's a good run from Himmelberg, wasn't it? I agree with you, Joel. If he can get in the game and be using the ball from centre forward, that's a big win for the Giants. And, for Tom Green to just be able to find Himmelberg in the middle, to be able to drill that ball forward. They haven't had a lot of entries coming from that corridor part of the ground because Hawthorn have defended it so well. But that time, being able to find Himmelberg in there and use up Hogan with a terrific lead and a super strong mark. He is still their only avenue to goal.
He might have to kick 10 goals today. If there's no one else out there, he's going to have to kick 10 to get him over the line.
Josh Weddle's standing Jesse Hogan. He's got a little size advantage on him. Weddle's a star, but Jesse Hogan might fancy that matchup as Meek just knocks it down to Newcombe. We'll have a ball up in the middle of the ground.
See that change from Bedford. He was pinged for that tackle. Obviously, there was big controversy, but he changed the technique then. Well done.
Peatling scrapping away for it. Nash is there, so is Tom Green. And they will fall on the football. We'll have a ball up next to the centre circles in the middle of Marnica Oval. Another sensational turnout in the nation's capital. 3 straight sellouts for the Giants. 4 straight wins here they are looking for. And Hawthorn have a 20-point lead at the moment as O'Halloran punches it to centre half forward. Gathered by Sicily, though, for the Hawks. Back to Amon. Gets on that left boot and switches it beautifully to D'Ambrosio. He's having an impact. He's been one of Hawthorn's best with 2 goals. Kicks up to the wing and finds Ginnivan on a long lead.
Ginnivan has it on centre wing. They're just not paying attention to him on the mark, so he plays on. Handballs to D'Ambrosio, who gives it back. The 1-2, then the 1-2 back to D'Ambrosio. Kick is poor, though. It was in the Ward direction. The other Ward came across. Cal Ward for the Giants marks. And short kick inside to Peatling. He's on the edge of the centre square. Called to play on. Deep entry, it's to you-know-who, Hogan, and they're so wary of him. But the holding free kick goes against. So Hardwick for the Hawks will get the free kick against Hogan. It looked like it might have gone the other way.
Well done by Blake Hardwick, showing all of his experience. Win the free kick against Hogan. Hawks lead by 20. Early stages of the third term. Here's Josh Ward. Pick 7 Ward in the 2021 draft. Battled for a spot in this team at stages this season. Worked his way in now. Kicks to half forward. Good contest there by Cal Shadir. Works it to ground. We'll have a boundary throw in. Smack bang on the wing, out of side. Hawks kicking to the right of your radio dialer. ABC, listen up. And they lead 8-5-53 to the Giants 4-9-33.
The home team down by 20. Hawks have come to play today. Briggs shoves his opponent out. Hands to Peatling, then to Ward. Had a couple of options, didn't like them, so off his left foot he stepped and kicks it towards Tom Green. Tied up against the line. Green keeps it in. The Giants keep it in. Hands come to Daniels. He was pushed as he kicked it, which affected the kick. He's turned it over. Sicily, a long kick down the wing.
Looking forward is Watson. Beats Perryman to the football. Had the leg speed on Perryman. Watson and takes the mark. Now kicks Hawthorn inside 50. Chol and Taylor wrestling. The lead came from Deer. Well done, Taylor. It's to lead. Chol to the football. It's gathered, though, by Ginnivan. A snapping effort towards goal. Just misses. Through for a behind. Hawks extend their lead out to 21 points. Enjoying that battle between Taylor and Chol. Taylor doing a really good job at the moment. Chol hasn't had a huge impact on the game, although he's managed to kick
Whitfield.
1 goal for the Hawks.
Whitfield goes to Iden and runs past and collects the handball. They're going route 1 here. Buried into the turf, though, is Peatling. Jai Newcombe with intent. And there's a bit of push and shove after. That was a bit of a hospital ball. Peatling happy to take it, though. He's made 8 tackles of his own. Ball's thrown up. Hawks side of halfway. Daniels, he's slung to the ground. Got a handball away only so far as Scrimshaw gives it to Newcombe. His handball misses the target. Goes to a Giant. He turns it over, but the umpire's blown his whistle and saves them. Peatling gathers, goes to Green, who marks 52 metres out. Might be just beyond him. Slows things down, though. He's looking inside 50, wants to hand it off. Can't find an option that he likes. So Hogan's got 3 goals. The only other goal kicker for the Giants is this man, Toby Green. Handball's in. Doesn't look like he wants it. Called to play on from 55. It's a chip kick to the hot spot. Can they find a grab? Running at it, Khrushchevsky. No mark. Lying on the ground. Cadman was there. Applied the tackle. And we'll have a ball up just 12 metres out from that Giants goal.
I feel like both Cadman and Hogan got front spot and almost spoiled each other going for that ball.
Grimshaw did well in the contest. Briggs palms it down. Newcomb's there again. He wraps up Khrushchevsky. And Thomas, in fact, will have a ball up. Just outside the Giants attacking goal square. Darcy Jones looking for it. Well done, Newcombe. Another clearance. He's been superb for the Hawks. Clears defensive 50. Bouncing ball. The race is on. Callaghan wins it. It's set up nicely for him. Gets back on his left. He needs to get involved in this game. Kicks into the left forward pocket. Cadman leaps off hands. Tom Green with the snap across the face. Back there doing the important defensive work, coming back from his wing position, is D'Ambrosio. He goes short to Hardwick in the left back pocket. Whether it's an attacking sense or a defensive sense, D'Ambrosio shining for Hawthorn at the moment.
100%. The wingers having big impact.
Hardwick, he's been thrown forward plenty of times this year, but defensively with the footy now. Down to the wing. Live ball on the ground. Who's going to win it? Good hands from Perryman to O'Callaghan. Callaghan wide in the direction of Green, who led Impey to the footy. Still 2 kicks from goal. A few jeers from the crowd as Impey looked like he wandered a couple over the mark. Instead, Green inside 50 and Cadman marks.
It was pretty similar, wasn't it? If not exactly the same, but Cadman's got his shot here. We've been waiting for him all day to take a mark inside 50. Presented well, beautiful kick by Toby Green. So let's see what he's got. Hopefully he can make the most of this opportunity.
He's one of 4 out there for the Giants from their 2022 draft contingent. He was the #1 pick. Can he stand up at Manuka? It's bending back. An outswinger of the highest order. Aaron Cadman gets his first of the day. Another much-needed goal for the home team. 8-6-54. 5-9-39. They cut it to 15 here on ABC Sport. Joel Paffel, Jason Saddington.
It was an ugly finish, but it got there. It did the job. But that's what you need for those young forwards. Rather than kicking it on top of his head, he's battled away all day. He's brought the ball to ground, but he hasn't been given an opportunity. Toby Green put it to space. Let him use his speed. Let him use his agility as a young player and take the mark out in front. So great bit of play, great finish.
And I feel like that's Aaron Cadman's future. He's not a strong contested mark. He's more like a Jeremy Cameron type. Let him run around, let him roam, let him get out in the lead, let him mark the footy. That's the type of player he is. He just hasn't been able to find that space so far in his career and is often used as someone that's just sort of got to stand and deliver a little bit.
Got to be patient with key forwards, even if they're #1 draft picks. Jamari Ugle-Hagen's shown us that. That's a big goal for Aaron Cadman, though. Margin back to 15 points. Giants win the clearance. Bouncing ball at half forward. Strong tackle there by Halloran on Sicily. Hawks win it back, though. Impey out wide to D'Ambrosio. Gets it back. Darcy Jones with a big chase and tackle. They got their hands free that Impey will have a boundary throw in out of side. So Cadman, just 3 goals in his last 5 games coming into this one. We've spoken a lot about the Giants needing some help for Hogan and Green down there. That was a really big major. Brings the margin back to 15 points, and the Prime Minister's in the house. Anthony Albanese, I think, with a Hawthorn scarf on in the outer, so the Giants fans don't like that.
Is that why they'll boo him?
That's why they were. There might have been some other reasons, depending on your political allegiances, but I'd like to think from the Giants fans it was because he was wearing a Hawthorn scarf. Well, that is bold from the PM to do that.
I saw a few Hawthorn supporters booing too. Work it out.
The Giants chairman is having a laugh a couple of seats away from him. Buddy Franklin's there too, just in front of the Prime Minister. So is Andrew Dillon, the AFL CEO. They've all turned out for this game.
And it is a hot one, just 15 points the margin. Giants have 2 goals in a row. Fierce tackle there, umpire circles. And he'll ball it up on the logo on the eastern wing. Neutral territory, Hawks leading by 15 points. All-star cast today on and off the field. Newcomb just evades him. He's down low. Ball came out of nowhere. Ash was waiting for it. Hands to Ward. Little chip kick to Callaghan. Hands forward to Peatling. Inside 50 kick comes. O'Halloran's got some space and marks it. Sicily gave him room and O'Halloran said, yeah, I'll take that. Just inside the arc. He's got a long kick on him, Xavier O'Halloran, so this won't be beyond him.
It was a good kick from Peatling. Nearly hung in the air too long, but the ability to see that O'Halloran's opponent had just drifted off expecting the longer ball or the one down the line, and he was able to see that and just chip it across his body. Sat in the air, but strong mark in the end from O'Halloran.
Just 2 disposals today so far, but he kicked 4 against the Hawks when they met earlier on this year. He'll kick from 52 metres, sits it up, gets it to the line. Is that a mark? We'll have a look. That's been spoiled through. So a minor score. 54 plays 40. It is 8-6, 5-10. Hawks lead.
Hawks play on quickly again to the right back pocket. Numble over the top from Hardwick to Impey. There's an option on in Jath. Goes over his head, in fact, to McDonald. Just sat up for him a little. Buckley closed on him, and McDonald showed strength to mark on the wing. Margin back to 14 points. Giants slowly but surely working their way back into this game. It's an excellent kick though to find Luke Bruce, who's on the ground for the Hawks. Kicks into the pocket. Ginnivan has taken the mark. Cal Shadir is the man that is subbed out for Hawthorn. Luke Bruce is on for game 295, and with his first touch, he shows all the class that he's demonstrated over the course of his career to spot up Ginnivan, who will kick from 20 out tight angle in the right forward pocket.
It's a fair weapon to bring on, isn't it? Luke Bruce is your sub. He's often terrorised the Giants.
This will be a big goal for the Hawks if Ginnivan can convert. It's across the face. It's now drawing back, but it won't do enough. Through for a behind. So 15 points the margin. This game in a holding pattern at the moment. 15 minutes gone in the third term.
Lockie Ash runs out of the goal square. Has enough time to have a bounce. He wants Iden. Just marks ahead of Bruce. Goes back to Himmelberg. Just outside the 50 for the Giants. Down the line has McMullen and Iden. Doesn't like either. Oh, he has to go those options. No, the double step. Pushes off Ginnivan then as well. Hogan's leading, launching, dropping the mark. Umpire's blown the whistle. This wasn't the controlling umpire. Free kick going the way of Weddle for the Hawks for a clear out, who plays on to Sicily in the long sleeves. Wouldn't have been allowed to do that in 2019 when it was snowing here under the reign of Clarkson. Goes long, edge of the 50. Himmelberg leaps and spoils, as he tends to do these days in the back 50. Comes to Perryman. Short kick to McMullen, then to Ash.
Here they go. Ash to Darcy Jones. Handball over the top to O'Halloran. Giants getting their run on. O'Halloran just didn't take it though. And then he's bumped off the football by Sicily, showing all his experience and class. Big tackle though by McMullen on Scrimshaw. Well done the Hawks. Managed to gather the football. Warple to Weddle. The kick inside 50. Gunston out and marking. Paid the grab. He'll kick from on the 50, 45-degree angle. James Sicily, though, as the Giants were running out of halfback with an important intervention on O'Halloran.
Yeah, it was. The ball didn't sit up for O'Halloran, didn't it? Sicily got the turnover that they needed, and they were able to go through the Giants back inside 50, and Gunston, it's a very strong mark from him.
This would be an enormous major for the veteran Jack Gunston, looking for his third of the afternoon. It's just fading back, and it's through. So much composure from the classy Jack Gunston. What a shrewd acquisition he's been for Hawthorn to bring him back after his stint at the Lions. 3 majors for Gunston. Hawthorn 9-7-61, back out to a 21-point break. The Giants are 5-10-40.
We talk about the Sicily contest. It looked like that was going to be one of the first bits of play where the Giants linked up through the middle and got the ball inside 50. Couldn't quite complete the play, and then it goes back the other way. And like you said, Garby, shows the class of Jack Gunston. 3 shots at goal today, 3 goals, so efficient inside 50 from limited opportunity in there. It's been great to see, especially on a day when it's been so hard to kick goals.
The Hawks just keep finding a way, don't they, against the grain a little bit to keep kicking goals, to keep this lead that they've had. I mean, the Giants probably had the majority of the play through this quarter to that point, but it's not able to capitalise and get much closer than the 15 points. But Hawthorn go through and score again to keep the lead out at 21.
The reserve grade ruckmen are in there. Both Cadman and Scholl miss it, so out of mid-air, Day kicks it towards the boundary line. Ward will be first there for the Giants. Keeps it in. Handballs to Ash, who ran over the boundary line with not much pressure. The umpire was happy enough. Ball in between wing and half-back for the Giants.
There's definitely a feel like the Giants are trying to quicken up the game, aren't they? They're trying to get that run going. They're not holding on to the ball for too long. They're trying to make the game a bit faster.
18-minute mark of the third term. Hawthorn lead by 21. That's a dump tackle from Day on Ward. Ward's head hit the ground in his 250th game as a Giant. He's okay, though. Luscious hair protects Cal Ward's head pretty well. Here's Connor Nash. He's tapping it to his own advantage. Lockie Ash picks it up. And a couple of Hawks fall on him. Ball up inside 50 for Hawthorn. Kellen Ward's been quiet as well. He's had such a good run. It's a milestone game, but he's another one without Canelio and Kelly who needs to be involved.
Umpire blows a free kick. Should go the way. No, it doesn't. Cadman for tunnelling in that ruck contest, I think. It's going to go the way of the Hawks. And it'll come to Weddle. The part-time rucks don't know the rules. Not many people at the ground tend to with the ruck infringements. So Weddle has the footy just outside 50. Sicily lurking behind him, but Green was aware to it. So Josh Weddle, who's pick 18 in 2022, from outside 50. That is an arrow. And it's just pulled. Went to row F, I reckon. Got the distance easily, but a minor score. 9-8, 9-8, 62 to 5-10-40.
Booming kick, Josh Weddle. The Giants under pressure, bring it back through Himmelberg. Looking for Buckley, couldn't take the grab. Ward gathers it, good tackle on him by McMullen. Perryman gathers the loose football and finds Darcy Jones on the wing. He wants to play on quickly. Whitfield's running off. He goes to centre half forward. Cadman needs to make a good contest and does. Gathered at the second attempt but then gave it over straight to Scrimshaw. Now the Hawks can go. Moore to McDonald. Callahan's with him, gets the kick free though. Well done by Callahan, put some pressure on. That allowed Himmelberg to mark. He goes to left half back and finds Iden. It's a seesawing game at the moment, but the Hawks with that 22-point margin well and truly in control on the scoreboard.
Toby McMullen marks it between wing and half back in his bright yellow boots. Been between the VFL and AFL this year for the Giants. Up the line, Krzyzewski to his sometimes VFL competitor, but swinging across was Weddle. Lazy on the mark work from Krzyzewski. Weddle, one bounce, two, inside 50 to the Bruce direction, but Buckley worked it out. He kept his eye on the footy intercept mark for the Giants, and he handballs to Himmelberg.
Massive raps on Josh Weddle as a footballer. He's been outstanding, hasn't he? Himmelberg to Whitfield and now Ward. Clever kick. Chip over the top to find O'Halloran on the wing.
Weddle's just so powerful, isn't he? He's explosive. He's a big lad. He spoils well. He can defend, but he can also get in the offensive play.
And he can play tall and then run off them.
Yeah, yep.
Which makes him such a weapon. And then he's got that awesome kick, of course.
He looks a bit like Blakey there, with the hair flowing as well, sprinting.
Slightly bigger build. He's got a neck as well. And some shoulders. Whitfield to Finn Callahan. Inside 50, the Giants go. Good grab by Sam Frost. That defensive structure of the Hawks standing up well now. A lead by 22 points. Frost marks in the left back pocket. We've gone 21 and a half minutes in the third term, and now the Giants start worrying about the clock a little bit and the work they've got to do.
Up the line, Frost goes over the back. Ash was waiting there. Long handball to Ward. He goes inside to Peatling. This will open up the 50, but CJ had other ideas. Brilliant tackle. Locks up him and the footy. We'll have a ball up 60 metres out from the Giants' goal.
Been great at that, Hawthorn, haven't they? When it looks like the Giants going to get the handball game going in the tsunami, looks like it's about to roll, the Hawks just able to stick a hand in, make a tackle, put the pressure on.
Free kick came out of that contest. Bit of holding, and Ward for the Giants has it. And Day attacked the ball. He kicked it inside 50. A would-be mark, but Day ran through. They're away, the Hawks. Ginnivan to Moore. Has a couple of options. Uses McDonald. Back to Moore. Moore McDonald. Sounds like a kid on a road trip. Goes long. Scholl marks 45 metres out. And the Hawks will have another shot for goal.
You talked about the clock, Garvey, and that's a perfect example of it. Ward trying to create something that probably wasn't there. That kick inside 50, chopped off by the Hawks, and then they're away down the other end. And they're going to have to start moving the ball like that. There's definitely, like you said before, Sato, they're trying to create more opportunities and be more aggressive with their ball movement through the middle. But when it doesn't pay off, this is what happens on the other end.
So Scholl couldn't get a game at Gold Coast. He won a premiership with them in the VFL. The Hawks said, we'll have you. Their leading goal kicker in 2024. He's kicked a goal from this exact spot today. Make it 2. Hawks 10-8, 68. Giants 5-10, 40. 23 minutes of elapsed in the third term here on ABC Sport. Your experts, Jason Saddington and Joel Patfull.
And that's what happens. The Hawthorn have been so good defensively today. They structure up really well. We've mentioned it throughout the call, but the Giants then start to try and bite off things that aren't quite there because they're trying to generate some play and some movement. But if Hawthorn stand solid with their setups, they're going to intercept, and that's what they did on that. They were able to intercept, get the play, and then they've got numbers running forward because the Giants have gone hard to try and create something. And they can go end-to-end, and Scholl with a lovely finish through there. But I'll tell you what, the highlight of that play was probably your call, Declan Byrne. It took me a while to get that. More McDonald, kids on a road trip.
Is that happening to you, Sato?
All the time. More McDonald.
It's risky on the ABC, but we went there.
Yeah.
28 points. The Hawks lead by. Big goal by Marbio Chol. He's second. Toby Green in the middle for the Giants. Kick to centre half forward. Tom Green failed to mark. Peatling's there though. Looks for Daniels. Well done by Newcomb. Wins another hard ball. And now Nash. This Hawthorn machine just repelling everything that the Giants throw at them at the moment. It's back with Newcomb in the middle of the ground. Gets it back, Jai Newcomb. This would be a wonderful individual goal from 40 on the snap. It's across the face. He won that ball, back edge of the square, linked up 3 times and had the shot. It's out of bounds on the full. That was fantastic individual play. And it's getting very tough for the Giants now. 28 points the margin. And we've gone deep into the third term. 25 minutes played.
Newcomb up to 20 touches, 13 contested. Hogan flies at that one. Brought down, Ward to Iden by hand. Iden goes one way, up the line instead to a 1-on-2. Green does well against Sicily, fists it to the other Green. Tom with it, hands forward. Cadman, he's got Toby Green, instead goes long. Don't know if that was the option. Didn't execute anyway, it was off the side of the boot. Pushing Giath out was Thomas. Free kick against Thomas to Giath. Well, Cadman had Green just 5 metres ahead of him for the handball. It's rare you see the skipper burned like that. So Hawks have possession inside their own 50.
It's almost getting that time we have to look at a different setup forward, isn't it? They're still getting the ball inside 50, but the options just aren't there to convert.
Off hands picked up by Newcomb again. He's powering through this Giants midfield. Has a bounce. Tries to give it to D'Ambrosio. Over his head. It's gathered by Scrimshaw. And now Connor Nash. They switch it out wide. Leading by 28 points, the Hawks. Now to Bruce. Honours the sub and finds the lead of Connor McDonald, who kicked from outside 50, marking in front of Harry Perryman. They're just so in sync at the moment, Hawthorn, aren't they? This would make it very difficult for the Giants if McDonald can slot it from long range.
They're running hard forward now, aren't they, Hawthorn? They're getting their handball receives going. They're getting the quick kicks and pulling the Giants apart. Very impressive football from Hawthorn. We know they've been playing well for a number of weeks now, but there's nothing holding them back.
Newcomb, 20 disposals and 9 clearances. McDonald from long range outside 50. It'll go off hand, stays in, gathered by Joe Fonte. Is on the ground now for the Giants. Gruszewski has been subbed off. Up to the wing, big hit on Daniels by Frost. It's a free kick going the way of Frost. The Giants fans won't like that. Everything going the way of the Hawks at the moment. It's with Sicily on the logo on the wing. So both teams have made their subs now. Gruszewski off for Fonte for the Giants and Deere subbed out for Luke Bruce for Hawthorn.
Sicily a low kick to the lead of Watson. Spills it. Falls anyway to Moore. Darcy Moore, a no-looker across the face. Behind. Dylan Moore, the minor, 68, 69, plays 40. And Gruszewski just couldn't get his hands on it today. Just the 3 touches subbed out for Fonte.
So that different look forward then with Gruszewski going off and Fonte coming on, who's a half-back. Is it Himmelberg that you throw forward?
I think it has to be. I think it has to be someone who can take the long down the line, create a contest and bring the ball to ground. And a different look to what they've had for the rest of the day. They're still getting the ball inside 50, but not creating those opportunities.
And close to three-quarter time now, 27.5 minutes played in the third term. Hawthorn leading by 29 points. Ash looks for Darcy Jones and finds him on the wing. He'll want to play on quickly, but Hawthorn get behind the ball in numbers as they've done all afternoon. Good run by Brent Daniels, though, to mark it half forward. He wants 50 and he gets it. Well, I don't know if he played for that just a little bit, leaning into Sicily after taking the mark. The umpire has awarded it. Ray Chamberlain has sent James Sicily back 50 metres. Not a massive protest from Sicily, which is surprising from him. Big moment in the game.
Big shot from Daniels.
He plays on a fine line, Sicily. Similar to Toby Green, I think. He likes to push the envelope.
Daniels runs around and misses again for the Giants. So they are now 5-11. 41. Hawthorn 10-9, 69. And that is an opportunity they could not afford to miss, considering this scoreboard at the moment and the late stage of this third term. 28.5 minutes played, Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Amon, touch number 21, is down almost to centre wing. Tom Green collects for the Giants, kicks it forward, Briggs off the ground to McMullen, spills it over the boundary line. So 10-9-69 to 5-11-41. Brent Daniels missing pretty regulation round the corner from 30 metres. And it's going to set themselves a task as we approach three-quarter time.
Important for Hawthorn here to just slow up the quarter, go in with this lovely lead.
Here's Peatling, just outside the 50-metre arc for the Giants. Back to McMullen. Can they take a grab before the siren? Impey can for Hawthorn. Opposed to Brent Daniels. And that should do us to three-quarter time at Manuka Oval. Hawthorn extend their lead again, as they've done at every change. It was 15 at quarter time, 20 points at half time. It is 28 points now at three-quarter time in favour of Sam Mitchell's side, who just seem to have all the answers at the moment. And it's a frustrated Adam Kingsley, Toby Green and Giants team at the minute. Goals to D'Ambrosio, Gunston and Chol for the Hawks in that quarter. Hogan and Cadman for the Giants.
Well, it's the Hawthorn guy. They have got all the answers. You're right, Garvey. I mean, the Giants tried to quicken up the game through that quarter, I thought, and try and change it up, make something look a little bit different and put Hawthorn under pressure. And whilst they're still able to get the ball inside 50, they're just not dangerous up there apart from Jesse Hogan. Hawthorn with the answers, still strong defensively, intercept, get the ball back through the middle, and when they're going forward, they just look much more efficient. They're able to kick the goals they need to kick, and they keep extending this lead. There's nothing overly flashy about. They're just clinical with what they're doing, and they're just choking the opposition from playing their game of football.
You're right, and they almost gave us a different look there, didn't they, than the first half when they ran and used the hands through the middle of the ground, and they were explosive. Before the half, they were more by foot. They got it inside 50, long inside 50, created the contest, but explosive by hands, clean, and like you said, effective inside 50. They're hitting targets, and then their forwards are converting when they get the opportunity. Giants forwards missing easy goals in front of goal, 30 metres out. Brent Daniels, that's what he gets paid to do, is to kick those goals in a pressure situation as well. You need to convert from there.
Hogan has 3 for the Giants. For the Hawks, Gunston with 3, D'Ambrosio and Chol both with 2, and then Weddle, Moore, McDonald with singles, Green and Cadman with the singles for the Giants. So spreading the load, Hawthorn well and truly in control. A massive final term coming up from Canberra. 28 points. The Hawks lead by. It's Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
It's the most magical time of the year, right? Footy season. This season you can get your footy live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app. Unbelievable. AFL, NRL, men's, women's. Whatever you fix, we've got you covered. Every goal, try, mark and tackle, called by ABC Sport's expert commentary team.
A wonderful goal! Game, set, bingo!
100% pure footy, live and ad-free on the ABC Listen app.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2024 AFL season. Every match on the ABC Listen app.
Look for the AFL button.
Handball to D'Ambrosio on his left, just inside 50. Just composes himself and slots it. Oh, it's a weapon, that left boot of his.
Inside 50, on the lead, Hogan. That's how it started in quarter one. Maybe that's the only way they're going to try wrestle the game back to get the Giants going in the third quarter. He is a dead-eye. 3 goals to the day. He's atop the Coleman. And the Giants badly needed that one. Cadman marks. He was the number 1 pick. Can he stand up at Manuka? It's bending back. An outswinger of the highest order.
To Weddle. The kick inside 50. Gunston out and marking. This would be an enormous major for the veteran Jack Gunston, looking for his 3rd of the afternoon. It's just fading back, and it's through.
Back to Moore. Moore McDonald sounds like a kid on a road trip. Goes long. Shoal marks 45 metres out. Kick to goal from this exact spot today. Make it 2.
The 2024 AFL Premiership season.
On your radio.
ABC Sport Digital.
And on the ABC Listen app.
The sounds of the third term from here at Manuka Oval, where Hawthorn enjoy a 28-point lead, extending their lead at every break. It's such an open season. The way Hawthorn are tracking, who would write them off when it comes to lifting the Premiership Cup? It sounds like a crazy thing to say, but they are the informed team at the moment. It is going to take a Herculean effort from the Giants to topple them in this final quarter, because they just seem to be so well set up defensively and then so quick to spring, Joel Patfull, when they get the football back.
Well, you're right. They're playing the game perfectly. They're doing everything right, and they're holding that defensive structure. The Giants went at them really hard through the majority of that quarter. They went aggressively inside 50. They tried to hit those targets. They tried to run the footy. They literally did everything they could to try and break down that Hawthorn defence, and they held strong. And then once they turned the ball over, they went fast again back the other way, and they were able to expose the Giants, who weren't set up as well defensively.
And probably the perfect example of the way Hawthorn is playing is Marcus D'Ambrosio, isn't he? He's the winger.
Massimo D'Ambrosio.
Sorry. He's the winger he's getting back in D50, and he's intercepting and he's helping out, but he's also getting forward and kicking goals. But that's playing your role to perfection. And someone like him, who's having a field day out there today and is a real difference, is what Hawthorn's doing really, really well.
So what do the Giants do then? I mean, talk about nothing's worked so far. Do they flip the magnets? What happens in this final quarter?
They need to find a different way to goal. That's for sure. I'd throw Himmelberg forward. Concede a little bit of height down back. They've got the height to cover anyway with Taylor, Buckley and Iden. Himmelberg's a player that can take marks and kick goals. Krasevski's been subbed out. Fonte's come on, who plays halfback. So you've got another defender. Himmelberg's the one for me that can swing and go that way. And we've seen him impact games of football as a forward before. That's the move I would make, and the Giants have to take it on. They have to run, and they have to get the game going.
It looks like Bedford's been released from the tagging role inside attacking 50 now to try and give them something different in attack. Some numbers to three-quarter time. Declan Byrne, who's been standing out?
Yeah, Lockie Whitfield's the outlier with 30 touches. The rest of them 21 and below, but it's Newcomb's 21 touches with 9 clearances. Sicily as well. He's only got 17 touches, but over 500 metres gained. So those two standing out for the Hawks. It's just such an even performance. When you watch the Hawks, they don't have standouts, but like we've talked about, their structure, the way they play as a team. They lead by 28 points. It's a big fourth quarter ahead to get us underway. Daniel Garb.
Just the 9 possessions for Finn Callaghan. They need some more out of him after 36 last week. Hawthorn have done a good job to keep him quiet. And another clearance to Jai Newcomb. Wins it back now. And goes to Meek, and now Sicily. The torpedo ball barrelling inside 50 for Hawthorn. And there's a free kick going the way of Buckley, who was held. And they'll spring off half-back now through Iden, the Giants, to Whitfield. And now Daniels. They need the first of the last term. Daniels looking for Toby Green and finding him in the pocket. Well, that is the perfect start for the Giants if Green can convert. And they were very quick out of defensive 50 there.
Yeah, so I think the game Adam Kingsley's gone for.
As Green plays on quickly, snaps true. Well, maybe it is game on. 22 points, the Hawks lead now. Toby Green with his second of the game. They needed the first of the last. They've got it.
I think Adam Kingsley's gone for the confusion game, because of that first centre bounce, Toby Green and Brent Daniels started in the middle. As the ball rolled into Hawthorn's forward line, Callaghan and Bedford came up and Green and Daniels snuck out. And they're both the two players involved in that passage of play. Brent Daniels through the middle of the ground was one that kicked the ball into Toby Green. So he's using what he's got to try and throw him around a little bit and maybe find some space and some confusion with the Hawthorn defenders and midfielders to see if he can find some free space and free players up forward. The other one is Himmelberg's gone up to the wing. Is a bit of a change that Kingsley's making. So in a way, he's throwing the magnets around, but also trying to create some confusion.
Daniels is standing next to Nash. That's about 25 centimetres difference. Umpire bounces the ball. It favoured Meek, and they'll bring it back.
The other thing he's done, I think Kingsley's gone to the box. Just saw him on the screen up to the coach's box. That's different for him.
Usually works the other way around. When you're trailing, they come back down to ground level.
So that margin is 22. Ball thrown up. Warple tackled as he got his kick away. Travelled about 15 metres. Daniels was first there, but needed to bodyline it. Hawks have the footy. Newcomb to Meek. Briggs tackles him. Still gets hands free to Nash. He goes through 2. Dishes off to Ward for the Hawks. Left foot kick. Hits the deck. First there is Chol. Taps it twice to his own advantage. Then circles round, wheels onto his left, leading Gunston. The late spoil came. That was lucky. That would have been silky smooth. The spoil came over the boundary line, right forward pocket. Giants trail by 22, 2.5 gone.
Well, Chol beat 2 of them. He led Taylor out to the footy and then was able to turn Perryman inside out.
Final term here from Monica Oval in Campbell and ABC Sport. 22 points the margin in favour of Hawthorn. Giants to kick the first of the last. Here's Himmelberg, gets the hands free. Putting his head over it was Ward. Tom Green wins it though. Brent Daniels extracts it. High kick up to the wing. Pushed off the football was Cadman by Frost. Frost tracks back to get it. Gathers it. Handball to Newcomb. He's probably been Hawthorn's best. Kicks them inside 50. Gunston couldn't take the grab. Tom Green is there for the Giants. They get it to Whitfield and he squeezes it out to Himmelberg. This is better from GWS.
Yeah, the relieving kick, but they're going chaos football for sure. It was a quick play on. Callahan kicked it up. Bedford marks against the centre square. He wanted a runner past him, eventually gets one. Whitfield, 75 from goal, has Ward running for him. He's on his own, juggles the mark, runs inside 50, lowers the eyes, standing underneath it. Darcy Jones takes a brilliant contested mark under serious pressure. He'll kick for goal right in front, 25 metres out.
Well, it makes you wonder why they didn't play like this all game, doesn't it? When they've just freed up a little bit. Daniels around the stoppage has been damaging. He's in and under, and then he's out and using his speed as well. So giving him a different look and creating more opportunities inside 50.
I mean, it was definitely a risky little handball back here at half back, wasn't it? To Callahan, who almost wasn't even facing the footy, but it came off for them. They were able to get the secondary handball. So it got them through. They've got to take the risk. Hawthorn just need to try and get some stoppage again, don't they? It's what they've been great at. Slow the game down a touch.
Darcy Jones in his 9th game of AFL footy. Steers it home. Game on. Hawks 10-9-69. Giants cut it. They are 7-11-53. 16-point ball game. The perfect start for the Giants in this final quarter here on ABC Sport. Sunday Arvo footy at Manuka. And your experts are Joel Patfull and Jason Saddington.
Well, you mentioned it, Joel. Brent Daniels going into the midfield. He's been a real spark in this first 4 minutes. Winning the footy, setting them up going forward. Great little move from Adam Kingsley to try and kickstart something here for the Giants, and it's working.
Just that quick ball movement. It's put that Hawthorn defence, it gets them off foot, and you can see by that change of direction as well, Cal Ward, he didn't just kick it straight, he chipped it back inside, opened up the forward 50, and Darcy Jones takes the mark.
Game on in the capital. 16 points now the margin. GWS with the first 2 goals of the final term. The Prime Minister's watching on. Buddy Franklin's in the crowd. The AFL CEO as well. And they've turned on a show as we expected, the Giants and the Hawks. GWS responding early in the last. Tom Green wins it. Handball to Whitfield at centre half back. He's well tackled. They'll have a ball up just inside defensive 50 for the Giants, attacking 50 for the Hawks. Strong tackle by Bruce, who's honours the sub for Cal Shadir. And Fonte honours the sub for the Giants. Krzyzewski's been taken out of the game. Strong tackle by Briggs on Meek. Ray Chamberlain will throw the ball up again, just inside 50 for Hawthorn. Meek wins it cleanly. Handballs forward. Watson couldn't gather it. Paddled it back to Meek. And Briggs will tackle him. We'll have another ball up, half a metre away from the last one.
And this type of play suits the Hawks. They've been great at stoppage so far today.
Briggs the tap down to Callahan, who's got busy in the 4th. Oh, McMullen ran straight into traffic, found an out. It was Brent Daniels, went for a run. They're just having a crack this quarter. Seeing what happens. Peatling delivers to Green, marks on the edge of the centre square. Inside 50 comes, Hogan at it. The 50 might have been awarded here.
Whoa!
That's massive. So Hardwick was manning the mark, and I think he advanced too early. So Toby Green, who gave away a 50 that led to a Hawks goal earlier on this game, will kick for goal from directly in front, and again, just 25 metres, same spot as the last goal.
I think Toby tried to tell the umpire, keep walking another 10 metres too, mate. It didn't work.
Toby Green has 35 goals for the year. He sparked them in the second quarter with a big tackle. He then got a goal. He's been thrown in the middle. Another goal would make things really interesting. Oh, yes, it is. And the Manuka crowd love it. 3 for Toby, 10 points the margin, 7 minutes into this 4th quarter. And suddenly it's the Hawks who have to respond.
Yeah, they're right back in it, the Giants, and it's a great move, really. Kingsley. He's put Daniels up into the midfield.
That's a big one, isn't it?
Well, it is. It's just given them a different look. He's got speed around the stoppage and he's creating and he's moving the ball quickly. That's what it's changed. They were very stop-start. Couldn't get that flow going, couldn't get their run going, but that addition, which is probably not the one that we were talking about, we didn't put that forward, but obviously that's what they've got up their sleeve, and he's given them that element that they're starting to look a bit more dangerous, going forward, more space, more speed, and creating those opportunities.
And I think they're taking a bit more risk with the handball too. I mean, at half back there around the stoppage, they actually just flicked it out back in towards the corridor, which is not your usual type of play, but it's a risk and it's something different.
Former Swan and Blue, Jason Staddington alongside Joel Patfull, former Giant, two-time best and fairest winner with the Lions. Your experts today. Brent Daniels with another possession. Just works it forward. Jath does well, though. Coming off the wing to win it. Back to Hardwick and now out today. They've switched Bedford and Daniels. It's working for the Giants. Data half forward, though. The chance for Bruce to mark. Didn't take it. Sam Taylor's there. Goes back to wide and they keep it in play, the Giants. And now they've got space through Ash. Oh, he's kicked it over Callahan's head. Straight to Lloyd Meek. Oh, this is devastating for GWS. And awesome for Hawthorn because Meek goes to Gunston. He'll kick from 35 out directly in front. That's the moment potentially that might just swing the momentum back in Hawthorn's favour after the Giants had pegged it back to 10 points.
Well, it looked like great work, didn't it, from the Giants to just keep the ball alive and keep this game, moving. A little bit risky. Even the kick from Ash wasn't risky. He just missed it.
Gunston for his fourth goal of the game. Has got it. He will make you pay every time. And he makes Lockie Ash pay in particular. Hawthorn, after conceding the first three of the last, respond back out to a 16-point break, just as it looked as if the Giants, Joel Patfull, were ready to run out of halfback with ease again.
Well, they did. They've done well to force the turnover, and Ash is usually quite good by foot, but just went for a little bit too much there. It's a defender's nightmare when you turn one over 50 out directly in front of goal, and as it always seems to happen, it lands in Gunston's hands, who he's the last bloke on the field that you want having a shot from 38, so devastating for the Giants.
He's one of these guys, Jack Gunston, he always has been throughout his career. You think you've got him held, and he'll always pop up with a crucial goal. He's infuriating for opposition fans. That's why Hawks fans love him so much.
Yeah, I mean, 4 goals. What a return today.
He kicked 3 in the earlier fixture this year, Gunston. He's been really annoying for the Giants. 4 today. He's their 3-time leading goal kicker across his 2 stints at the Hawks. He's proving an issue, Gunston. Gets that lead back out to 16 in the clearance. Again, guess who? Jai Newcomb, just over the top of Chol. Running through, the Smalls now do their work. And that is a really important tackle in their defensive half from the Giants. It was Perryman who latched onto Watson and will have the ball up 25 metres out from the Hawks' goal.
Leading by 16 points, Hawthorn. Cal Ward with the clearance for the Giants, though. Weddle marks. Oh, he's actually dropped it. Has time to gather, though. Back to Frost. Switches it now to Hardwick. 11 minutes gone in the final term. Hawthorn up by 16 after the Giants had pegged the margin back to 10. Scrimshaw into the middle of the ground to find Carl Amon. Every Giant behind the football at the moment in their own defensive half. Scrimshaw lowers the eyes and turns it over to Buckley, who came out to meet it, wants to play on quickly and does to the outer wing. Puts it out in front of Darcy Jones. It sits up nicely for him. The race is on with Jath, a couple of speedsters, and then Jones has turned it over straight to Carl Amon.
He doesn't waste any time either. Spots up McDonald on the logo, eastern wing. They go backwards. Sicily has the footy. Wants to go to his left, but instead, nothing there. So goes deep inside 50. Joel launches, doesn't take the mark. Comes to McMullen on the deck. Hands to Himmelberg. They're moving it quickly again. Perryman, Callahan, McMullen all by hand. Advancing up the wing. McMullen has a bounce. No one comes to him. Eventually they do. Dishes to Jones. He has O'Halloran. 75 out from goal, lowers the eyes. And that is a contested grab from Green that we don't always see. Another string to the bow and marks 47 metres out. Can he kick the second to the final turn for the Giants?
Great grab. You got to, for anyone at home on the lead, Toby Green looked like the ball was going to carry the contest, but just stopped underneath it, planted, took the contact, took the mark.
Green from 49. Sends it towards home. A mark on the line between the boundary post. I think it's Hogan. It is. And the umpire's just going to check whether he marked it before the ball went over between the goalpost and the behind post. Razor Ray grabs the footy. And we'll have a goal review, or at least a review just to see what the case is. Razor Ray in his final season. Maybe that's why Albo's here, to farewell
That's a
great
mark.
umpires.
That's a mark all day. Hogan will have a shot at goal from the right forward pocket. No doubt about that.
The juggle, I guess, is what they're looking for, but it looks like it's stuck. He had both feet still inside, and they've already given... No, Razor Ray's got the ball, but everyone is lined up for this Hogan kick. So he's in the right forward pocket.
It's a tough kick, left foot snap.
Razor Ray waits for the official decision. The ball passed back to Hogan. Can't get a tighter angle. He'll have 2 steps, and he'll try bend it round on his left to get it back to a 10-point margin. Jesse Hogan takes a little half step back. No stutters here, otherwise they'll call play on. He waits, sums it up. 1, 2, kick, bends it. Oh, he's just too good, Jesse Hogan. That is his 4th. And it's back to a 10-point ball game. Sunday Arvo footy, we're set for a ripper here at Manuka. 13 and a half minutes gone, 11-9-75, plays 9-11-65. Jason Saddington, Joel Patfull, Hogan. He's just so good wherever he gets it. He does not miss.
Unbelievable vein of form, Jesse Hogan. I mean, he's taking contested marks week in, week out. That one on the goal line. But the most impressive part is his ability to be able to go back and do a left foot snap from the pocket. I mean, it's not normally something a big man or something Jesse Hogan's probably known for, but that's the form that he's in. Toby Green was disappointed. He took a great mark. He was disappointed with his kick off the boot, but they get one back. Hogan, great mark on the line, great finish. We're at 10 points halfway through the last. This has happened quick. The Giants have really launched back into this. Pressure on the Hawks now.
Jesse Hogan now the outright leader in the Coleman medal with 4 goals today, 57 for the season, 1 ahead of Curnow. There's a free kick here going the way of the Hawks. Not sure what for. Lloyd Meek goes short to Connor McDonald. Middle of the ground.
The 666.
Must have been. 28-point lead to Hawthorn at 3/4 time. Now back to 10. 4 goals to 1 in favour of the Giants in this final term. And work it out to Scrimshaw, right half forward, short to Amon. The left footers combining. Now Amon can try and set this up in an area that he likes. Puts it to the hot spot, top of the goal square. Coming out to mid, it was Meek. Bruce gathers it, snaps and goals. The super sub Luke Bruce, the champion, reading those situations better than anyone yet again. And the bruised call rings around Manuka Oval. Margin back out to 16 points.
Well, they keep finding a way, the Hawks, don't they? They're getting challenged and they're facing the pressure and they're finding ways to kick goals. What an asset to have a player like Luke Bruce to come on as a sub. So much experience and so clean, under pressure, takes his time and finishes well.
And it's the experience of Hawthorn, isn't it? The experienced players that just keeping the Giants at bay. Gunston kicked the goal earlier. This time it's Bruce. Well, that's what you need when things are a little bit tough and you need to get some goals. It's these guys that are standing up. They're experienced players, experienced goal kickers.
Giants kicked the first 3 of the 4th quarter, but since then they've gone goal for the last 4. They need a clearance and they get it through Green, the Giants. Inside 50, hit the deck. Himmelberg's there, but O'Halloran picks it up, spills it, kicks it off the ground towards McMullen. Ward taps it again to McMullen, inside 50, to the pocket. Green wrestles with Hardwick, and Hardwick wins out. Kicks on his left, outside 50. Chol be first there. We've got a holding free kick going the way of the Hawks, and it'll be Dylan Moore with the free kick, 60 metres out from his own goal.
And Dylan Moore at left half back. 16 points the lead in favour of Hawthorn. The Giants have rallied in this final turn. The kick to half forward, Taylor underneath it, marking in front of Chol. And an excellent job defensively, Sam Taylor again, yet again today. Back to Fonzie, honours the sub, dangerous kick, but he finds Daniels in the middle of the ground. Handball to Perryman, they want to play on fast, the Giants. With his left, kicks to half forward, straight to Scrimshaw though. It bounced off his chest, down to D'Ambrosio. Shares it with Amon. And now to Impey at half back, just dribbles one up the wing. He's happy if it goes over the boundary line, and it does after Perryman punches it away from McDonald. So the Hawks 12-9-81, the Giants 9-11-65. The way GWS are playing in this last term, still a big chance that they can win this game. They've got work to do. Hawthorn leading by 16 points. What a massive win for them it would be. Here's Declan Byrne, Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Amon's all on his own at this contest. It doesn't come to him. It went to Day, who's being manned by Daniels, tackles him. Umpire runs over, throws it up straight away. Cadman v Meek. Meek with the hit out. Amon closely checked now. He's tackled. Another ball up in the exact same spot. We're between wing and half forward for the Giants. Warple on hands and knees. No clearance again, so 3 in a row. Haven't moved a metre. 18 minutes gone in this final term. Hawks lead by 16.
Well, the next goal is enormous. If Hawthorn can get it, it feels like there'll be too much for the Giants to do. Daniels around the ball has been good in the final term. Here's Iden resting away with Watson, winning it just behind the wing. Handballing over the top to Cadman. Gathers it nicely, throws it on his left. Bouncing ball inside 50. The Giants will look to pounce. Hogan beat into the football by Frost. Good second effort though by Hogan to tackle him. Jones looking for the loose ball inside 50. Falls on Hardwick. They'll have a ball up. 30 out from the Giants attacking goals. Coming to meet it, Cadman and Meek. Meek just throws Cadman off the football. He's well tackled though by Himmelberg. Well done, Toby Green. Bounces free, throws it on the boot. Bouncing ball is across the face. It just went for an off break. He needed the leg break to go through. It's a behind to the Giants. Margin 15 points in favour of the Hawks.
He normally gets the right bounce, Toby, doesn't he, somehow, but not this time.
Carl Amon with this kick will lead all comers in the Hawks team. 27 for him today in that back half. Top 3 rebound defender in the comp. Goes long. Numbers at the full are with the Giants. Callahan, handball to Whitfield. Unlike him, he missed his target. McMullen spilled it. Callahan got it back, gave it to McMullen. There's Fonte. The unused sub last week is on. Inside 50. Hogan direction. Coming back to help out was D'Ambrosio, but it spills. Big tackle from Frost. Ball came loose. Umpire plays it on. Kick outside of D50 for the Hawks goes to McDonald. He looks up the wing and finds Meek.
Hawks will play on quickly. They work it up to half forward now. Marking it is Bruce. Kicked a massive goal a moment ago. Crumbing beautifully. Game 295. The Hawks play finals. You might bring up his 300th this season, Luke Bruce. You wouldn't put it past them. He goes to his big ruckman in Lloyd Meek, just outside 50. They can win this game. It has a massive bearing on those hopes. They're in pole position at the moment. 15 points up. 20 minutes gone. Meek goes long. And he'll go through for a behind. There's 16 points the margin now. Hawthorn 12-10-82. The Giants 9-12-66. Set up for a massive finish here at Manuka Oval.
It was smart play from the Hawks. They didn't have to rush. They'd got to half forward pretty quickly, but then they didn't have anyone ahead of the ball. So they just waited, took their time, chewed some time off the clock.
That is a brilliant pass from Whitfield. 60 metres. Hits up. Buckley plays on. Jones. Couple of bounces. Handball forward. Waiting there was Himmelberg. Oh, well done. Good smother. His kick goes nowhere, but he goes and gets it again. Taps it forward to Jones. They're outnumbered, the Giants here, and Hawks will win out. Impey escapes from the contest. A right foot kick off the outside of his boot. I don't know how that went 15. The umpire's paid the mark. He kicks back to Sicily, has Scrimshaw, and they just keep taking the sting out of the game, the Hawks.
That was a huge smother. I think it was Impey, was it?
Day.
Will Day, huge smother. Himmelberg was about it, sent it inside 50. Big play.
Hasn't had a lot of the ball today, Will Day, but he's competed hard. It's a big moment, which sums up exactly what the Hawks are all about at the moment. They just chip it around defensive 50. Here's Amon. He's got a laser-like left boot, so he can bite off a kick in the middle of the ground and find Newcomb, who has been sensational. Possession number 27 coming up for him. Sends it to half forward. Left half forward where Weddle is marked. Another one of their best. Still time here for the Giants, but with every little chip kick, there's another one from Weddle to Newcomb. It makes it that little bit harder.
But once again, it's great play from Hawthorn. They don't need to rush or panic. They can take their time.
Newcomb sends a low ball inside 50. Gunston palms it down. Brewster's there roving. The Old Firm combining. And then Ash tackles Jack Gunston. Giants players appeal for holding the ball. That was never likely to be paid. Ball up, inside 50 for the Hawks, who lead by 16 points. 22 and a half minutes gone in the final term.
League feed Cadman. Down to Warple. Can't control it. 3 or 4 players dive on the footy. Another ball up, 40 metres out. They lead by 16, the Hawks. As you said, Brewston, Gunston doing the damage. Sam Mitchell will love that. He played with them for 5 or 6 seasons. Now he's coaching them. They might be the match winners today in this final quarter. Another ball up. Another 4 or 5 jump on the footy. We're still 35 out from this Hawks attacking goal. Meek and Briggs this time. Briggs with the tap. Came to Ward though. Back to Ginnivan. Hands left. Edge of the 50. Will Day with it. Back to Ginnivan. They're retreating to Impey. 1-2 with Ginnivan. They can't keep it in. They lose about 30 metres. But they won't mind as it knocks a little bit more off the clock. Still leading by 16. We'll have a ball in 75 metres out from the Hawks attacking end.
It's a tough bit of time. There's still 6 minutes to go, so you can't completely pack up shop, but they've done it well, the Hawks here. They're still moving the ball and they're still holding it in tight at the stoppage.
Meek palms it down to Newcomb. They've combined beautifully all afternoon. Peatling tackles Newcomb now. He's been superb, John Newcomb. 29 disposals, 11 clearances. You know, the source of absolutely everything for the Hawks. Briggs with the tap. Well done by Callaghan. Wins the hard ball. Gets it to Tom Green. Floating kick from him up to the wing. How does it bounce? It sits up nicely for Hogan. Daniels with the roving. Tackled in the back by Newcomb. No free kick paid. Well done by Bedford to support his little mate. Jesse Hogan with the don't argue on Sicily. Turns it over there to Ward, whose kick goes to half forward. That should be insufficient intent. Yes, it is paid. So a free kick to the Giants. They'll go the way of Fonte. Wants to play on quickly from left half back. Puts Buckley under pressure, but he's marked a few metres out from his defensive goal square.
Buckley has Taylor, finds him outside 50, wastes not a second. Plays on, hands to Iden, up the line, another mark from Himmelberg on the wing. Long inside 50, and that kick is good to Jones, just outside the arc actually. Has Bedford free, ignores that, eventually goes to Daniels. Spoil came late, umpire.
Gee, late call.
Pays the push, and it was the umpire who was 30 metres away, not the umpire who was 5. So Brent Daniels with the free kick. He'll kick from right on 50.
Razor Ray could not have had a better view of that and didn't pay it, but the other umpire did. I'm not saying it's the wrong decision. I think it's actually a free kick. How did Razor Ray not pay it?
Well, I don't know if he knew it was like the chopping of the arms, or was it a push, or...
He missed the whole of 2022, Brent Daniels, but he's been a star this year for the Giants. And they're still in it. There's life in this game. 10 is the margin again. Hawks lead 12-10, 82, 10-12, 72. The Giants, 25 and a half minutes have elapsed in the final term. They are hanging on. They need 2 goals to take the lead, but they have got time.
He's had a terrific quarter, Brent Daniels, hasn't he? He's been the catalyst in the middle of the ground. And then now to go forward and kick a goal that I would have thought was outside his range. He's kicked it from 50, and he's not normally known for his long-range set shots, Brent Daniels, but lovely finish to bring this back to 10 points, and still enough time. Game on, Brent Daniels. If they do happen to get there, the Giants, he's the one that's been the catalyst and the match winner.
Set up for a grandstand finish. We thought this game would deliver it. The Hawks extended their lead at quarter time, half time and 3/4 time. But in the final term, the Giants have come to play. A 28-point margin at 3/4 time, whittled back to 10 points. 26 and a half gone in this final term. Here's Brent Daniels again, springing away from the contest, kicking them deep inside 50. Hogan with the grab. Umpire has paid the mark. A few players thought it might have been touched. A bit of chaos ensued, but Hogan will go back and kick from 15 out directly in front, and the margin should be within a goal.
Just the mindset of the Giants players to keep the ball moving, keep it in action. It almost should have been a restart stoppage again in the middle of the ground. The Giants found a way to just shuffle the ball out, and Brent Daniels just ran straight onto it, burst out of the middle to get it forward.
Hogan to make it 5 for him. He is so often the hero. He might just be the biggest of heroes, Jesse Hogan, this afternoon in Canberra. A 28-point lead for the Hawks is back to 4. 11-12-78 the Giants. Hawthorn 12-10-82. It is going to be a nail-biting end to this game. Joel Patfull and Jason Saddington.
Well, just when you thought that the Hawks had almost done enough to close the game down and slow it down, the Giants have just gone to another level here. Like you said, that stoppage work. Brett Daniels in the middle has been extraordinary. He's had 10 or so touches in this quarter, score involvements, kicked a goal himself. If you give Hogan a chance, one-on-one, most likely he's going to get there. So keep getting the ball inside 50. Still plenty of time left. 3.5 minutes to go. This is anyone's game.
Unbelievable. I'm with you. I thought they choked up plenty of time and really taken the sting out of it, the Hawks.
No one has moved here at Monica. A sold-out crowd. You're hearing it on ABC Sport. The tap comes from Meek to Nash. Straight through the middle. Can the Hawks bounce back? Lead. No mark from Scholl. Up and under from Ash to a danger spot. Inside 50. Ward the one-on-one against Ambrosio. The spoil came. Probably the best result for Ward there. It goes over the boundary line just inside the 50. Sunday Arvo footy on ABC Sport. 4-point ball game. We're in the Hawks attacking arc. We're 28.5 in.
Look for Hawthorn to just try and hold this ball in here and even try and slip some numbers behind the ball.
And the Hawks find a settler. Peatling gets hands to it, thrown off it by Warple. Callahan wins it, and now Whitfield tucks it under his arm and dashes away from half back. Gives it to the best in the last term in Brent Daniels. He has Toby Green in a long lead. The crowd comes alive. Hawthorn leading by 4 points. Toby Green runs around Sam Frost and kicks the Giants inside 50. Here comes Hogan. Off his hands, falls the way of Tom Green. The Canberra boy with a snap, puts them in the lead. What a moment here at Monica. From 5 goals down, GWS are in front with minutes remaining. And it's the Canberra native Tom Green with something very special. The Giants 12-12-84, leading Hawthorn 12-10-82.
Well, we thought before the game we're going to get the exciting match of the round that we all hoped for. Well, it didn't look like it was going to happen that way up in the first 3 quarters, but this is unbelievable from the Giants to win that ball at half back, and Lockie Whitfield, the composure to wait, and the forwards, Jesse Hogan and Toby Green, they knew not to lead up because they could see Brent Daniels peeling out or Bedford to get the handball received from Whitfield and then make their lead. Unbelievable connection from the Giants. I just can't believe how they've stormed back into this game.
It's a 7-2 goal quarter the Giants' way. They lead in Canberra. This clearance important. Peatling gets it. One-on-one. Green this time gets rid of his opponent. Toby Green didn't take the mark. Collects the footy though. Hardwick into the deck. Ball spills free and over the boundary line for a ball in. 75 out from the Giants' goal.
So the incredible part here now is that both teams have to switch the way that they were playing and the way they had to think about they were playing. Giants now need to probably just slow it up and not do anything too drastic. Hawthorn need to create something, which they haven't had to do all quarter.
They did this early in the season. Hawthorn away to Port Adelaide. Remember that big lead, went into their shell a bit. The power seized upon it. The Giants are today. They go inside 50 again, GWS. Here's Toby Green. He's been special as well in the last. Just works it towards the pocket. Well done by Cadman. Takes Weddle over the boundary line. Isn't that a sign of how things have changed? Weddle's been muscling everyone all afternoon. Now Cadman carries him over. We have gone 31 minutes in the last. The Giants lead by 2 points. What a finish. Sunday afternoon footy on ABC Sport.
Huge contest here inside 50. Giants lead by 2. Meek the tap. Day the clearance off the side of his boot. Only goes 10 metres or so. Moore's first there to meet it. Dishes it back to Nash. Up and under. It'll land right on the 50. No mark. Day's there. Taps it forward. Chol by foot off the ground. Waiting was Taylor. Hands it to Peatling on his left foot. Kicks it towards the 50. Green was close enough because it was one bounce out of bounds. We will have another ball in. We're 31 and a half into the last quarter. They've come from 28 points down, the Giants, to be ahead by 2.
The Giants defenders, you're about to say it, Garby, screaming to get players up behind the ball. Cal Ward's getting back.
Well, Sicily's gone forward, that's why. They can see that, and they're waving defenders to get back. Jesse Hogan might go back there soon, but they got the chance to win the game here, the Giants. They're just outside attacking 50, poked over the top by Darcy Jones. And one back there by Weddle. Nash to Impey. Here go the Hawks. Impey to Amon. Now to Warple. Middle of the ground. Kick to centre half forward. There is Sicily. Resting with Iden. Well done, Connor Iden. Spoiled it away from the contest. Excellent work, though, by Hardwick to win it back at half forward. Finds Sicily now. Brilliant tackle on Sicily. He's caught holding the ball. And it was Jack Buckley with the massive intervention. It might just be match winning. 32 and a half gone in the last. Giants lead by 2 points. Jack Buckley, enormous.
Why would you want to go to Paris when you could be in Canberra, says Jack Buckley. Maybe a match-winning tackle, and Hogan marks. Got rid of Frost right in front of the bench, who all tell him that there's about a minute remaining, so he says, I'll go back to Ash. Now they're the team icing it. Ash goes back to Hogan. They're now in front of the Hawks bench.
He's got to kick it long, I'd say.
Whitfield takes the mark, and he's going to go back to Hogan. 3 possessions in a minute for Jesse Hogan.
Hawthorn need to find a man here. They can't let him chip it around. They've got to force him to kick it so they get a chance to get the ball back.
Jesse Hogan with the footy. He will go that long kick. Hawthorn trail by 2. Day at the front, can't mark. Bedford comes through. It's all locked up. Not long on the clock. We will have a ball up, but the Giants might just have this.
Ball up outside 50 for GWS. They lead by 2 points. Is this the moment that GWS surge back into premiership calculations? A 5th win in a row from 28 points down at three-quarter time. Monica Oval rises as one.
Giants, feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best. And we will never surrender. We'll fight until the end. We're greater than the rest.
Oh, classic in the nation's capital. They trailed by 5 goals at three-quarter time. Adam Kingsley threw the magnets around. Jesse Hogan kicked 5, and they've recorded a win from absolutely nowhere, the Giants, to send a strong message to the rest of the competition that maybe their maiden premiership will come in 2024.
Well, there's a big, big sound from the west of the town. It's the sound of the mighty Giants. Feel the ground is shaking. The other teams are quaking in their boots before the Giants. We take the longest strides and the highest leap. We're stronger than the rest. We're the greater Western Sydney Giants. We're the biggest and the best.
12-12-84 GWS, Hawthorn 12-10-82. Jason Saddington, Joel Patfull, you've had a moment to catch your breath and just try and make sense of what happened in the last. One of the great wins in recent times for Greater Western Sydney, and heartbreak for Hawthorn, who were brilliant yet again all day. Until the last, perhaps.
Hawthorn were fantastic for 3 quarters. They just completely choked up the game from the Giants and didn't allow them play the game that they wanted to play. But come the last quarter, yeah, the Giants just, they had to force it, didn't they? They had to get the run, they had to get the tsunami and the handball and the free range movement going. And I mean, there's always risk in that, but it kept coming off for the Giants. There was a couple of dicey handballs, but they got through. They kept the ball alive out of a contest and flipped it out. And there was one man that absolutely flipped that game on its head. I mean, I guess you could say too, because Adam Kingsley made the move, but Brent Daniels going in the midfield in that last quarter was absolutely unbelievable to just completely change that game, not just with his leg speed, but his ball-winning ability and his ability to get a handball out or win the footy. I can't believe that the Giants have won that game of football from where it was and where the game was looking, because even halfway through that quarter, Hawthorn just had a couple of steadies. Gunston kicked a goal and then Bruce kicked one that was almost like, that's it, that'll take the sting out of it. But the Giants just kept at it. They kept pushing the ball out. They kept taking it on, and unbelievable finish to a game of football. And I can't believe the Giants snatched it from the Hawks, who would be absolutely gutted.
They'd be devastated, the Hawks. They played so well for so long, like he said, and they did look composed. They looked like they had all the answers. They looked like they knew how they could control the game. They took a few minutes off the clock. They held it in close in the stoppage. They did everything right, but they just couldn't hold off the Giants. And that run, like you said, Brent Daniels was a revelation in the midfield to come in and create so many opportunities, run and carry. He was the difference. And the Giants, they played a different brand of footy. They hadn't played that for 3 quarters, and that was the Giants evolved that's got them to this position, and they were able to do that in the last quarter.
So what did the Hawks do wrong? I mean, was it all the Giants that they're just going to their shell a little bit too much, trying to hang on to that lead?
It's always a tough one, because the Giants, obviously, they gave them a look that they weren't familiar with, and the Hawks just didn't really know how to handle that. It was almost like you said, Brent Daniels almost single-handedly changed the game, and it gave the Hawks a look that they weren't maybe expecting, or they didn't have an answer for that. So they didn't do much wrong, to be honest with you. They'll be devastated with a result like that, and for the Giants to come from behind, sometimes, footy just happens like that, and you get momentum and you get over the line, but definitely no fault to the Hawks.
Not at all, and that is the hard part if you're a Hawthorn supporter or even the coaches to go, we actually didn't do a long run that last quarter, apart from maybe somehow trying to contain Daniels, and Jesse Hogan was probably the only player that really ripped them apart all game, wasn't he, as that big, powerful key forward, and he's the only other one you could say, well, we probably should have tried to stop him, or I'm sure they did, but
it's hard to make those changes during a quarter as well. So obviously it's hard to get the message out once you're in the game, and it's not something they would have talked about at 3-quarter time. They would have talked about just continuing to play their footy. If they would know in those situations what mode they go to, but to get a different look that the Giants threw together, it kind of threw the Hawks off.
Yep. And for Tom Green to kick the winning goal here in Canberra, I mean, that's just fairy tale stuff as well, isn't it?
So the Giants move up to 3rd on the live ladder. Hawthorn are in 10th at the moment, but they've still got the chance to make finals. Carlton next week, they can beat on form, and then North Melbourne and Richmond. So don't write them off. This will hurt their spirit a little bit, but they've still got so much energy. But GWS, all of a sudden, they're going to be a team that everyone is talking about when it comes to premiership calculations. That's been their ambition from the start of pre-season. They've been bullish about it, unashamed. They've now won 5 in a row after stumbling through the middle part of the season. And they are just about the hottest team in town right now. We have to talk about Jesse Hogan. 5 goals for Hogan today. He's now into the outright lead for the Coleman medal. And this is a player who burst onto the AFL stage early on in his career, had his troubles, and he's now the dominant key forward in the competition. The move to GWS has just been a godsend for player and club.
Yeah, I mean, he was the one that kept him in the game early. He's such an important target, and he just creates opportunities. He's not the flashy forward. If he was playing in Melbourne, he doesn't get the headlines as your Charlie Curnow. He doesn't do the special snaps of goals and take the overhead marks, but he just creates opportunities and he kicks goals, and that's the most important thing as a forward.
And the contested marking aspect to the game, he's taken 11 marks for the game. 6 of them are contested, and I feel like we probably been talking about him for the last month, 2 months, around how well he's marking the footy, but I feel like it's getting better every single game. I don't know what the next level for it is.
Well, you talk about where the Hawks went wrong. They didn't have a match-up for Hogan from the start. Probably 3 or 4 different players played on him throughout the game. They needed to have a specific match-up to go to Hogan.
So the Giants fans surround the race as the GWS players, Jesse Hogan, both arms outstretched, giving the high five to everyone, screaming as he walks down the race. They've now made their way into the change rooms. Declan Byrne is down there for us. Declan, what's it like?
Oh, a hero's reception. And this is a tiny room. This is maybe 12 metres by 10 metres, low ceiling. I reckon this is going to be one of the most gusto-rending songs you've ever heard as they circle up. Big Giants fan base here in Canberra. And they are excited. This is like they've won a final. And some sports drink all over Grzyzewski for his first win in Giants colours. They circle up. Here it comes.
One of the best songs in footy, one of the best wins for GWS in their history. Declan Byrne will grab one of the Giants for us shortly.
Garby, I've got one here, Garby.
Take it away, Declan.
Jack Buckley, put on these headphones while I talk to you. What the hell just happened out there?
Yeah, mate, I'm still taking it in. It sort of happens that quickly when you don't really get to catch your breath or take a second to think about how it all went down. But yeah, just extremely stressful last few minutes, but God, it's good to come away with the win.
Talk us through that tackle. Not long left on the clock. Sicily, they send forward. What was going through your brain?
Yeah, a lot. They sort of streamed up the corridor and I had to come off a man and just make sure I impacted, because if you come off and don't, you can look very, very silly on footage. So just one of those ones where you got to be careful in the tackle these days too, not to give away a free kick. So just try to roll him, and then when I got the ball, figure out what to do with the ball next.
Where would you rather be, Canberra or Paris?
Oh, Canberra, mate. I think Celeste will be happy with that answer too. She knows I should be here, and I'm just so glad I can be here and help the boys make a push for finals.
What was the message at three-quarter time from Kingsley to try and wrestle back the lead? 28 points down. What did he want from you guys?
I think the way we were moving the ball was just quite boring, and we weren't getting a lot of traction off that, and we weren't giving our forwards good looks. We were sort of bombing it in there, and we were just sort of hoping Hogs would win a 1-on-4 or 1-on-3, and it's not a sustainable way to play footy. So once we cleared that up, even though we still didn't get it completely right in the third, we were looking a lot better, and then in the last, it just sort of, once you get a bit of momentum, it can go a long way.
Let's head upstairs for a few more questions.
Jack, it's Jason Saddington, mate. Congratulations on an epic win, come from behind. Well done. We saw Brent Daniels go in the midfield in that last quarter and completely change the game. It must be great for you guys, especially as defenders, to see someone go in and make such a big impact like Binger.
Oh, mate, it was incredible. Not often out in the ground do you really notice, how guys are playing, but geez, that last quarter from Binger was just phenomenal. You could just see it from behind the ball, just how much of an impact he had in the game. He completely swung it in there. His centre bounce stuff and just his overlap handball game was just, it created so many scoring opportunities for us. And, he was the first bloke I went and beelined after the game and just said, thank you, Binger.
Good stuff, mate. Joel Patfield here. Great game. Mate, what does the next few weeks look like for you guys? A few big games coming ahead?
Yeah, massive, and we've spoken about that. That it's just a great opportunity to play a lot of good sides around us, and how important that is to get that sort of practice in before hopefully a finals appearance. So yeah, we're really taking the positive outlook on it, and going up to Brisbane next week at the Gab is just an awesome challenge for us, and something we'll hit head on, and then worry about the next two after that.
Jack Dangarb here. I know there are big games to come. We know it's such an even season, but you guys have been bullish about your premiership ambitions from the start of pre-season. That game, what does it do for your belief in that sense? It feels like it might be a huge turning point, even though you've been trending really well in the right direction.
Yeah, it definitely is. It just sort of, we sort of talk about what a Giants game looks like, and I think that last quarter was exactly that. And you can talk about it all you like, but when you actually see it yourselves and put it into action, that really creates genuine belief rather than just sort of hoping it'll come back. So now we'll get a lot of momentum off the back of that sort of last quarter, and and really look to carry that on. And we've got we're not shying away from what we're achieving to do.
So a massive win for you today. Now a massive week coming up. Your girlfriend Celeste competes in the hurdles in Paris. So talk us through the week, when you're going to be waking up, when you're going to be gathering, or how you're going to be gathering to watch her, the timeline and everything that's in store for you and your family and your girlfriend.
Yeah, it actually works out incredibly. The heat's actually on at 6:15 p.m. on Wednesday night, so everyone tune in. I'm already nervous, that's for sure. I kind of want to watch it by myself because I'll just watching it, but I can't wait. I'm just so proud of her, what she's been through to get there, and just being able to see her compete there will be a really great moment for everyone that knows her, especially her family and friends.
Brilliant, mate. Good luck to you. She'll be proud of you today, that's for sure. It's an awesome win. Good luck for the rest of the week. We hope she goes well. The nation will be watching, and congratulations on a massive victory today.
Thanks, mate. She was watching over there in the village, so
brilliant.
Hopefully she enjoyed it.
I'm sure she did. Jack Buckley from the Giants joining us on ABC Sport after GWS recorded one of the great wins for them in recent times. 28 points down at three-quarter time to win by a couple of points. 5 straight for them now. 12-12-84 to Hawthorn, 12-10-82. And it's just such a strong message from Adam Kingsley's side that has been sent. We'll get the votes from Joel Patfull in a moment.
Well, that's it. When you can be 5 goals down at three-quarter time and still win the game of footy, it gives you the belief, doesn't it? And that's what it gives the Giants this game. Probably weren't, like Jack Buckley said, playing their most attractive or attacking brand of football, but then to actually flip it and make it work and win the game gives you great belief that you can win from any position in any game of football, so they can take that forward. And on the flip side of that, if you're the opposition, every single week you might have the Giants, but they can score very, very quickly on you and absolutely get you. So that's a weapon up their sleeve.
All right, Joel, ABC Footballer of the Year. Give us your 3-2-1. It would have swayed a lot.
5 minutes ago, I wrote a few names down. I've had to completely redo it after the final siren. But 1 vote, John Newcombe for the Hawks. Thought he battled all day, and if the Hawks had won, he would have got the 3 votes for sure. Set the tone early, strong around the contest, got the ball moving forward. 2 votes I had to give to Brett Daniels. I mean, he was the one player on the field that turned the game. Probably didn't get the 3 because it was one quarter. He'd been pretty quiet up until three-quarter time. Literally turned the game on its head. I actually can't remember seeing a game of footy where one player had such a big influence on the end result. And the Giants got the win off the back. 3 votes, Jesse Hogan. Stood tall inside 50 from the start. He was that target inside 50, and without him there, they struggled to kick a score. So he's been so important from all year, and he's carried on his form through this week.
ABC Footballer of the Year votes, 1 to John Newcombe of Hawthorn, 2 to Brent Daniels. Maybe the coaching move of the season from Adam Kingsley, just to throw him on ball in the last, swap him with Toby Bedford and inspire them to victory. And then Jesse Hogan with 3 votes after 5 goals, the outright leader in the Coleman medal. An awesome story around the Giants at the moment, who have recorded a very big win.
And you do have to feel for the Hawks, don't you? I mean, obviously a 5-goal lead that they gave up and lost, and of course you go back to the Port Adelaide game. Not that any if you're a Hawks supporter you want to think back to that as well, but there's 2 games that they really sort of had in the bag and they've coughed up. So tough if you're a Hawthorn supporter, that's for sure, to see another one just go missing. But I tell you what, the type of footy they're playing, they are still a massive chance to slip into the top 8.
Halfway through the second term. Sorry, Joel, you go on and they'll give the score from the G.
I was just going to say, the Hawks will be devastated. And the way they're playing footy, they deserve to be playing finals footy. And I'll be surprised if they don't make the finals.
You hope to see them there, don't you, the way they're playing?
Yeah, I mean, they've got it set up for them with their run-in. But that last quarter showed it can change just like that. That's a young side. Will that have an impact on them mentally? Or can Sam Mitchell galvanise them ahead of a huge clash against Carlton, who need to win badly? And next week, I mean, they're at risk of dropping out of the finals altogether the way they're going. So the Dockers lead at the MCG. They are 6-1-37 over Essendon, 5-5-35, halfway through the second term there. But it's been all about the Giants win here in Canberra. 12-12-84 over Hawthorn, 12-10-82. A 2-point victory for 5 in a row for Adam Kingsley's side after they were 28 points down at three-quarter time. Thanks to Jason Saddington, Joel Patfull, our tech here, CJ.